white people than black on the UK bone marrow register. If you're black or mixed race, join the register today. Visit aclt.org and see how you could be the one to save a life. ACLT unites to fight leukemia.
Everybody, how you guys doing? It's Steve Barrow, and we are here with Roundtable with Steve. So that means that we are going to be talking about everything and anything that you can imagine, all right? We are streaming live on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio out of the UK. So we're reaching everyone, in the UK and in the islands, everywhere, you name it, because 246 Bajan Vibes Radio is everywhere. All right. Some of you are also watching me on YouTube, on Facebook, all these different things, I'm on so many different platforms. I don't remember which one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to run my intro real quick, and then we'll be back to talk about some of the things that have been going on recently, and just talk about a couple of different things. All right. I'm also inviting a couple of friends to join me, and if they want to come on board, then we can chit chat about this, that, and the other thing, whatever, it's free form. We got 3 hours. You and I are going to become really good friends here. All right. So let's go ahead and run that intro real quick. The ones of you on the radio, you're going to just hear the music, but vibe with me. All right. You know how we do. Vibe with me. All right, there we go. So that intro actually was done by my brother Ryan. Yeah, man. So there's talent all over the family. You know how we do. So big shout out to my boy Ryan. Ryan, what's up? All right. So today we're going to be talking about all different kinds of things. Like I said, we're going to be talking about, actually one of the things I wanted to, one of the subjects I wanted to bring up was I saw another friend of mine post something, and he actually has another talk show, and his name is Jason Brown. You can check him out on YouTube, and he has a show, and one of the things he talked about was, should men cry? And that's like, I started thinking about that. I'm like, society has taught us that men shouldn't cry, but why not? I mean, what's wrong with crying? What's wrong with getting the feelings out? You know what I mean? Once in a while, you're hurting, or something. What's wrong with that? So I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Should men cry? Is it okay for a man to cry? Talk to me. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Because I keep hearing people.
Hey guys, last week I put out a video going over the breakdown of what, in my opinion, is the best guess of when the next recession may be. In the times of economic downturns, certain real estate investing strategies work.
Let's go ahead and cut the feed on everything, so that way we don't have the feedback. But anyhow, there we go. I ended up cutting everything. So let's see. Should men cry? That's going to be the biggest thing. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. send me a message. Let me know, what are you guys thinking? Should men cry? Is it okay for a man to cry? Women out there, I want to know what you guys are thinking. Is it okay for your man to cry? You know, do you think any less of him if he cries? Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. So let me hear from you, from the women out there too. I want to know, if your man cried, do you think any less of him? I'm actually going to share this to a few different people, so you guys are going to see me type in and stuff like that. That's okay. I'm just sharing it out, and I encourage you to do the same. Share it with your friends, your relatives, your favorite groups on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want to share it on. So, you know, but again, should men cry? Is it a bad thing for men to cry? I don't know. Interesting conversation tonight. So let's see. Do we have any comments yet? Hey, Gene, what's going on? Gene Raimondo. Hey, long time no see, man. So, Gene, I want to ask you the question. Is it okay for men to cry? Do you think it's all right for men to cry? You know, if you had a son, would you teach him that it's all right to cry, or would you tell him that it's not all right to cry? I want to hear what you're saying. Before I really give my opinion, I want to hear what a lot of people are saying about that. Let's see. I think I have messages coming in already. Let's see. All right. So, guys, if you want to hit me up, you hit me up on WhatsApp. All right. Hit me up at I'm giving out a different number now. Hit me up at 954-801-0429. This is for you on the radio. If you want to hit me up on WhatsApp, 954-801-0429. And don't forget, if you're in Europe or Spain, or Europe, but if you're in anywhere in the world over on that side, you know, Europe, Asia, anything at all, definitely remember to put the +1 before it. So it's 954-801-0429, and you can reach me on WhatsApp. And those of you that are watching me online, definitely hit me up hit me up here and let me know. Okay, so I got a comment on WhatsApp that says, yes, it's okay for men to cry, but not too much. All right, so let's see. Paula's asking if I have a nighttime show as well. Yeah, actually, Paula, I'm doing a show, and we're actually streaming live on 246 Beijing Vibes Radio, which is out of Europe, and so it's out of London. So they're doing all different kind of things. All right. Let's see. Miriam says, yes, it releases emotional distress. Good point. Good point. Because I mean, if we build up all our emotions, then what happens? You know. Paula says, yes, men should be able to cry. They're human. Some of you guys are big babies anyway. That wasn't me she's talking about, by the way. I'm not a big baby. I'm big, but I'm not a baby. Gene says, hell yeah, nothing wrong with a guy crying. A lot of guys just have to get over the stigma that boys don't cry. It's good to release. All right, cool. All right. Crystal says, great topic. Hey, Crystal, what's going on? Crystal's up there in Pahokee, Florida, in Belglade, Florida, actually, right next to each other, Pahokee, Belglade. Call it Muck City. That's what everybody calls it. It's the muck, you know. So, yeah. So Janice says, we should teach our sons to show their emotions. I have no problem with men crying. Suppressing your emotion, whether male or female, is detrimental to your mental health, which is a good point. You know, and we're going to touch on that in just a second. Mark says it shows the human side. You know, so let's see. Crystal says she's loving the show. Thanks, Crystal. So this is the thing, though. I mean, because you know, we've always been taught that boys don't cry. You know, man up, man up. What are you doing? You're crying? What? Come on, man. Man up, man up. You know, get hard, get tough, whatever. But then what happens when all those emotions boil up inside you and you have to release it? So now if you're thinking you're not going to cry, then, I mean, and This is just my opinion. I'm not a psychologist, psychiatrist, any kind of mental health counselor, none of that kind of stuff. This is just Steve's opinion. But do you think that creates an environment for things like physical and mental and even verbal abuse of your spouse? Because now when you have it bottled up inside of you and you have to release it, you lash out at the person that's right there next to you, whether it's your spouse, your children, whoever. Especially when you can't lash out at your boss at work or whatever, then it turns out that you lash out at that person. So my question to you guys is, do you think that what do you call it, that it creates that kind of an environment for people to for men or women, if they don't cry, if they don't release it, do you think it creates that kind of an environment for them to lash out at their spouse, or to have any kind of what's the word I'm looking for, but a verbal or an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship. That's the word I'm looking for. Thanks to one of the viewers that just sent that sent it. A toxic relationship. Does not crying and not releasing your anger, your whatever is built up inside, does it create a toxic relationship? Janice says the anger will explode. It's true in different ways. Domestic violence, excess alcohol consumption. Yeah, definitely. Yes, they have to release the emotions. It's healthy. So why is it then that a lot of people are teaching their sons not to cry? That's the thing. I mean, I don't have a son, I have a daughter. And I taught her, well, I didn't have to teach her to cry. I just never said don't cry. I never told her she couldn't cry. But why is it that we are teaching our sons don't cry? I mean, if you lose a football game, it's all right. You know what I mean? It's an emotion. Just the same way that when people cry from being happy, we never tell them don't cry. I've never once seen, the football player, basketball player, whoever that won, and they're crying. Nobody ever goes up to them and say, "Hey man, don't cry. What you doing? Don't cry, man. You got to be hard, man. What you crying? Come on, cut that out." I've never seen that. So why is it that if they lose and they cry, we tell them they can't cry? It's like a double standard, isn't it? So yeah, that's one of the things I really want to touch on tonight. So definitely, guys, go out and share share out the post. Let people know that we're here, we're on, we're live. Let them know all these things, because I'm trying to find the video on YouTube so that I could share it out. I want to share more of my YouTube. There we go. Oh, actually, I see why on my YouTube I have it private. I gotta edit it and make it public on YouTube. That's okay. There we go. That was my mistake. So the people that were trying to find me on YouTube couldn't find me on YouTube. Man, sorry about that. But anyhow, so basically what we're doing is we're having an open conversation about different things. The first one that we have is, should men cry? That's the first one. Let's see. Janice is saying old ways and antiquated beliefs, which is true. I mean, that's the old thing, and Derek Jones. Let's see. Typically, something overwhelming brings it out, and that's true. When you are built up with feelings, it's going to bring it out. But the thing is, we allow it when it's good feelings, but when it's bad feelings, we kind of suppress it. And I'm going to take first responders, for example, police officers, paramedics, things like that. We always hear that they're always in, that they have like the highest rate of, spouse abuse and things like that. Well, the things that they see, and then we don't expect them to release this when, to cry, to whatever. Of course, they're going to have a lot built up. If you're a police officer or a paramedic or some kind of a first responder, and you see the worst of the worst of the worst, I mean, you see things that that when other people look at it when they see it on TV, they turn their head away, and that's only for 5 or 10 seconds on TV, but yet you're seeing it for 8 hours, 9 hours. I mean, we all know what we do when we see an accident on the side of the road. Everybody's peeking to see what's going on. Everybody's looking out the car window, and everybody wants to know what's going on. Oh my God, what happened? Well, that's only for like 2 seconds as you're driving by. But those people have to sit there and work through it. They have to pick up the bodies, pick up the pieces, the parts, cut them out of a car, whatever. But then we're going to tell them don't cry, because men don't cry. And there are women in these professions as well, but then they don't want to cry either because they don't want to be seen as soft by their coworkers or by anyone else. So what do we expect they're going to do when they get home? I mean, they want to release this. They have to release it. It's not like they want to, they have to. It's human nature that you have to release it. So at that point, what do we do? Paula says, I have 2 sons. One is more sentimental and expressive, and the other isn't as much. I think it's just their different personalities. I think both are healthy human beings, and that's true. It's sometimes it's a difference in their personalities, and that's fine if that's the way that that they are. If that's the way that the 2 sons are, but to the people who are actually telling their kids, don't cry. That's the thing. That's like, you see people telling them, they kind of create the environment that you can't cry and you can't be expressive. So like Paula is saying, she has 2 sons, and one of them is more expressive than the other. Imagine if she told the one that is very expressive, hey, be more like your brother, don't cry. What's wrong with you? Can't you be more like your brother? Then that would bottle up inside of him. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that she allows both of them to express themselves in their own way, that's great. That's what we have to do to our kids. We have to let them express themselves in their own way. So let me see. I'm getting and again, if you guys are watching me or listening on the radio and you want to post a comment, you can also send it to me on WhatsApp, which is 954-801-0429, 954-801-0429, and it's Steve Barrow on Roundtable with Steve. As a matter of fact, it's so crazy. I actually have my promos all geared up and everything for that. Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. Check this one out.
You are now watching Roundtable with Steve.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's one of the promos. This is the other one. You guys on the radio, this is Lamont Rucker, the actor. Check it out.
This is Lamont Rucker, and you're watching Roundtable with Steve.
That's what I'm talking about. You see what I'm saying? All right. So we're growing. We're growing. That's all I'm gonna say. We're growing. So check it out. If you guys want to comment, go ahead and hit me up. WhatsApp, it's 954-801-0429, okay? 954-801-0429. Let's see. I have a comment, another comment that says, it says, sometimes you're in so much pain that you don't have a choice but to cry. And if you don't cry to release it, it could kill you. Hey, that's another point. That's a very good point, because you know what? We don't realize the stress that it puts on our bodies when we don't release these things, when we don't release things like when we don't cry, or when we don't show emotion, or when we don't do anything, we don't realize what it does to our bodies. So, I mean, again, I'm not a medical professional. I am not saying, I'm not out there telling you guys that this is medical work or this is what Steve is saying. I'm just a guy on the street. I'm just a guy that just, hang out and like to talk to people and, just come on the radio and on the internet and talk to people. So again, I am not saying this as a medical professional or anything like that, but I am asking you a simple question. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that these things actually create that that something inside your body that ends up hurting you in the long run? Does it create, I don't know, does stress create things like heart attack? And I've seen these commercials and I've heard of them, where it creates heart attack, it creates all these different things that are going on. So I want to know from you how has stress or even not crying or not dealing with your emotions, if any of you guys want to share your story, you're not obligated to, but if anyone wants to share their story, it'll be greatly appreciated because it could help someone else. There's a lot of us out there that don't realize the things that's happening when we don't release the stress. We really have to start releasing stress. All right. So I'm still sharing the thing on Facebook, on WhatsApp, on all these different things. So I encourage you guys to do the same thing. When you have when you get a second, share it with your friends, your relatives, your neighbors, share it with your enemies. I don't care who you share it with. Just share it. Let them know that Steve is on. Derek Jones says, my best friend was killed by the police in April 2016, and I didn't release the pain until 2020. Wow, that's like, first off, sorry about your loss, man. Really, I appreciate you sharing that with us. But that's the thing. It took 4 years, and we don't realize sometimes that we have this thing built up inside of us. We don't realize the anger and all these different things that are inside of us that need to come out. So yeah. So tell me, how did you release the pain? Was it just crying? Did you start, like some people just start going kickboxing or boxing in order to release that energy? And that's if you do a good release. Some people release it in a bad way and, or whatever. So tell me, how did you release the pain there, Derek? I'm curious, but, I'm still sharing it out with everyone. And I encourage you guys to share it with your friends and relatives as well. If you're on the radio, Beijing 246 Beijing Vibes Radio, if you're on that, just go ahead and definitely share it, share the link, let people know to listen live. All right. I'm still sending it out to a few people. Let's see. All right. So definitely, guys, share it and let me know. So Derek, I'm curious, how did you release that pain? I'll tell you, I remember when my grandmother passed, oh gosh, I was 19 at the time. And it took a couple of years before it actually hit me. And I mean, just one day I was just bawling like a baby, just balled up in bed and just balled up like a baby. Like my dad just passed in February, and I don't think it hit me yet. I miss him. Of course I miss him. And I love my dad, you know what I mean? I definitely love my dad, and I think about him every single day. But I don't think it really hit me that he's gone. And I think that's something that when it does, it's going to be like, wow, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. So Derek says, it was just the stress of my inability to create the changes to prevent it. I weep. Okay. So he wept about that. It's like, wow. It's like, so to see men cry, I'm asking the women now, to see men cry, how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel like, wow, this guy's in touch with his, with his feelings? This is the kind of guy I can really have a relationship with. Or are you thinking, what? He's crying. Only one of us should be crying in the relationship. Or are you thinking, oh, wow, we could watch a movie and have a good cry together? I mean, I'm curious. I want to know what the women are thinking when they see, the men crying, and what they think about it. So definitely send in your messages. Let me know. I'm curious. I'm very curious. So let's see. Checking now. And don't forget, you guys can also send your messages on WhatsApp. You can send it to 954-801-0429. Again, 954-801-0429. Okay. Just go ahead and reach out to me. You know how we do. We have great conversations. All right. So just in case you guys forgot what you're watching, let me play it again. I love this one. It's awesome.
You are now watching Roundtable Steve.
Just in case you forgot. Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And actually that was Sheila Lourdes that was doing the reporting for me. And that was at my first episode of Roundtable with Steve. And I couldn't make it to that event, so I sent Sheila. And let me see, it was Anthony Anderson. A whole bunch of people were at that event that time. It was great. It was awesome. So so tell me, what do you guys think? And let me put that in the comment section here, so the people that are logging in now would be able to know what we're talking about. But should men cry? There we go. So I want to know, what do you guys think? The ones that are just now joining, tell me what you think about that. Should men cry? That's today's topic. Should men cry? So we got a few different perspectives on it, and I'm still looking for more people to go ahead and let me know, what they're thinking. Should men cry? It's just that simple. I'm curious what women think when they see a man cry. If you see your coworker crying, are you gonna think? What are you gonna think of him? Are you gonna think less of him because he's crying, or are you gonna say, "Oh, well, it's okay, Bob, don't cry"? I mean, I'm curious. I want to know what do you guys say when you see a coworker cry, or if you've ever seen a coworker cry? Let's see who's on right now. Ty Hannah, what's going on, buddy? How's it going? Terry Miles, what's going on? Hey, what's up? Let's see, Vashawn Nicole, what's up? Just calling out some names I see on here. Miriam Campos, what's up? How's it going? Isha, what's going on? How's it going? Dorothy Crawford, I see you. What's going on? So I see a lot of people on here now. So let me see what you guys are thinking. I'm curious. I want you guys to send me a message, either online right here, or you can send me on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. Again, on WhatsApp, 954-801-0429. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Should men cry? That's one of the topics that we're going to do today. All right. We have 3 hours. So what I'm thinking is that we'll break the time into different topics. That's one of the ones. Now, just to prompt you and let you know what some of the other topics are. The other day, there was a high school student. I believe he was high school. Maybe he was middle school. I don't remember which one. But either way, they have the virtual school going on right now where everyone's doing it online. And he had a toy gun, which is stupid. I don't know why a kid that old would need to be playing with a toy gun in the middle of virtual school anyway. But anyhow, he was playing with a toy gun, and the teacher called the police and said that he was playing with a toy gun on the video, and the police went to his house, and then the school actually gave him a suspension and everything for playing with a toy gun on video. Okay, We'll talk about that one coming up in the next hour. But to continue on what we're doing, let's see. Nisha is saying vulnerability is a beautiful thing. That's true. It is. And if a man is vulnerable enough to cry in front of you, that's not something that that should be taken lightly, especially in a world where men are sometimes viewed as weak for crying. It takes a lot of courage to be vulnerable. That's true. So my thing to you is, if he's crying in front of you, what's your reaction gonna be? What are you gonna say to him that's crying in front of you? Especially if it's like you and your man, and you're sitting there watching a movie or whatever, and a sad part comes on and he starts crying. I mean, I'm curious. I want to know what you women are thinking. What are you saying? I mean, are you gonna reach over and go, "Oh, baby, don't cry. That's all right"? Or are you gonna be like, "You're crying at that"? I mean, come on. What is it that you're gonna be saying? Let's have some fun with this topic here. I'm curious. I want to know. Now it's a whole different story, but never mind. I'm not even gonna take it there. I was gonna say it's a whole different story if like in the middle of intimate times or intimate moment or whatever, and hey, he starts crying. It's like, okay, I don't know. That's on y'all. But anyhow. So let me see who else just joined us. Ken, what's going on? Kenneth Barrow, what's up? How's it going? So we got a couple other people joining us right now. But don't forget to share the link. Let people know that we are on. All right. Paula was asking me earlier if I'm doing the nighttime show now. And yeah, it will be, because the radio station that I'm on, which is 246 Bajan Vibes Radio, it's out over in Europe, and so we're doing different things that I'm filling in different times until I get my own time slot. But most likely it's going to be nights, because I feel that I get a better response at night from people, and I feel that the night show gives you a whole new a new feeling, and it's like unrestricted, because lunchtime. Well, first off, calling it lunchtime talk, we couldn't do that anymore, because the topic was a little bit. Not the topic. Sorry, the name was a little bit off-putting, because I have people watching from Hawaii, from California, and for them it's breakfast. Then I have people watching from all parts of Europe, and for them it's dinner. So when I say lunchtime talk with Steve, and it's breakfast for one and dinner for the other, it kind of throws them off. It's like lunchtime. Like, what's wrong with this guy? Did he pre-record this or whatever? And it's not pre-recorded. It's live. You know how we do. Good night. That's my mom right there. Good night. And for those of y'all who are not West Indian, good night does not mean bye. It means hello. We say good night when we come to your house, and we say good night when we leave your house. I know a lot of people don't understand that, but yeah, the West Indians, we do that. We're from Barbados, and you know how we do. All right. So we come to your house and we say good night. Now you go to an American's house and you say good night. They're gonna be like, "You leaving already? You just got here." No, I'm saying good night because I just got here. Yeah. So let me hear you guys. Shout out where you guys are watching me from right now. I know my mom is watching from New York, which is Wendy. But anybody else that's watching, shout out. Let me know where you guys are watching from right now. Just drop your city, state, country, anything like that in there, and let me know. But again, going back to what we were talking about, should men cry? Now, Nisha had a good point with vulnerability, and if a man is crying in front of you, that just means that he trusts you enough that he's going to show you his real feelings. People don't realize it, but when you show someone your feelings and you show someone who you are on the inside, that is like being naked to the bone. That's like, yes, you know what it's like? You know how when you have that dream that you went to work naked or you went to school naked and everybody was looking at you? That's what it's like, but 100 times more. Because when you drop your defenses to the point that you're trusting someone, when you drop your defenses to that point that you just open up and you say, hey, this is me. What you see is what you get. Love me or leave me. This is me. When you drop to that point and you drop all your defenses and you're like, hey, I'm good with it. I'm good with you seeing who Steve is. Then that means I trust you. I mean, like trust beyond trust. I mean, like, when the kids are saying something nowadays and they want it to mean something, they put it in all caps. Well, this is like all caps the size of the Empire State Building. All right. If a person trusts you enough that they're going to be that vulnerable in front of you, that they're going to cry in front of you, that they're going to talk about their feelings and all these different things. So yeah, guys, if you're at that level with your girl and you show her, if you don't think you can show her the true you by dropping your defenses, then maybe you're with the wrong person. But you should be able to drop your defenses and show her the true you. Show her what you're all about. Show her who you are. And that's what we really need to do. We have to get to those kind of things when it comes to relationships, because we talk about relationships, but then you don't know the person. 15, 20 years go by, and then you're starting to still learn something about the person. It's like, what? It's like, how did I not know whatever? Because you never took the time to know. You didn't want to know. It's like when you watch a movie, and the person does, like at the end of it, the person's like, oh, I didn't know he had two families. Yeah, you didn't want to know. I mean, he kept skipping out every week or every 2 weeks, and he's gone for like another 2 weeks. What do you think was happening? It's like when you want to know, you know. When you don't want to know, you don't know. John, what's going on? How's it going? Lawrence Benjamin, what's up? What's up? I see you guys watching. That's good. That's good. I'm telling you, share the link. Let people know that we are on, that Steve is here. We're having a roundtable conversation, and everybody gets to join in the conversation. For those of you that are listening to me on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio, check me. You hit me up on my WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. Again, 954-801-0429 on WhatsApp. For those of you that are listening on 246BajanVibesRadio.com. All right. The rest of you that are watching me on YouTube, Facebook, all these different things, then go ahead and send me the message right here. You can reach out to me right here. Again, I want to know where you guys are watching me from. So go ahead and drop your location in here. Just let me know, city, state, country, whatever it is. If you're watching, especially if you're watching from outside the US, I'm curious. I want to know where everybody's watching from, But wow, my throat's getting dry. I got to sip some water here real quick. But today's topic, this hour's topic, I should say, should men cry? So, John, what are you thinking? Should men cry? I mean, talk to me. What have you ever cried, or have any of you men out there ever cried in front of your wife, your girlfriend, your whatever, have you? So I want to know, have you cried in front of your wife or your girlfriend, and what happened when you did? How were you received? Have you cried in front of your children? So I'm curious. I want you guys to talk to me about that. Tell me about those things. All right. Give me a quick second to just take a sip of water. There we go. Yep. I keep joking all the time about it, but seriously, if any of you guys out there that own, Mount Gay Rum, Cockspur Rum, any one of them companies, you need sponsorship, let me know. I could be sipping some rum and coke right now on the show and calling out your name. You know how we do. You get that advertisement going. We got to do this. Red Stripe, any one of y'all, Appleton, Hey, we'll take any one of it from anywhere. If you want to advertise, bring it on. Send me a couple bottles and a check. So today's topic is, should men cry? And we had a few good comments earlier, and I want to hear more from you guys out there. I want to know what you're thinking about this. Should men cry? Is it okay for a man to cry? Is it okay for your wife to see you crying? Is it okay for your children to see you crying? Is it okay for your coworkers to see you crying? And when is the time that you should cry? I mean, should you cry if you don't get the promotion that you want? Or should you cry if I don't know. I mean, if your dog dies or run away from home, is that a good time to cry? When is a good time to cry? Dr. Adrian Daisley, how you doing? He's out of Barbados, and Dr. Daisley actually has a show that's on Bajan Vibes, on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio on Monday evenings, as a matter of fact. So you guys should check him out. Monday evening, Eastern Time, US. He's on from I want to say 3 to 7. Dr. Daisley, go ahead and put the time in there, but I believe it's 3 to 7 on the same station on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio. All right. John says, of course, I cry in front of my whole family the day my father passed. And that's right there. That's another one too, because again, it's like when we cry when there's a tragedy or something, and that's good. We have to let it out. We have to release that pain. We have to release it. Because like I said before, and again, I'm going to always preface it by saying I am not a psychologist, psychiatrist, or anything like that. But I feel like if we don't, then it creates a toxic relationship. When we start saying that we're not going to cry, we're not doing this, we're not doing that, it builds up, and that creates that abusive, toxic relationship. So I honestly feel that we should be, I'm not going to say cry every day, but I feel like we should cry whenever there's something wrong, whenever something, whenever something built up. It's your body's way of releasing all that stuff that's built up inside your body. It's like, I mean, you eat and then your body releases the waste. You go to the bathroom. So it's the same thing. You ingest all this junk that's going into your body, whether it's what you see, what you hear, what you're thinking, but your body has to get a way to release it just the same way too. And crying is one of those ways of releasing it. Dr. Daisley's show is on Monday on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio at 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So that's U.S. Eastern Time, which is also Barbados time, but adjusted for wherever you guys are, because if you're in Europe, that's you guys' time is a little bit further ahead than ours. So I really feel like we definitely have to release that. We have to cry sometimes. And I encourage you parents to let your sons just be open with their feelings. If they want to cry, let them cry. What they want to do, let them do. I'm not saying let them punch the wall, no, because you're not gonna fix the hole in that sheetrock when you're done. So you're not punching the wall, and you're not gonna punch the wall anyway, because then you're gonna break your hand. If you really want to release energy that way, we'll put you in some boxing, or we'll put you in kickboxing or something. Something that you can release it, karate or one of those kind of things where it's more of a discipline kind of thing. So definitely these are some of the things that we have to do. We have to allow our kids to be kids, and we have to raise them in a way that it's all right to cry. It is okay to cry. I mean, everyone seems to be agreeing with me. I'm pretty sure that there's some people somewhere out there that don't agree, but they just don't want to go against the grain and say no, that they shouldn't cry. I'm pretty sure you're going to email me later on, because people always do that. They wait till afterwards, and then they email me or text me or something, and then they're like, Steve, well, I didn't agree. And that's okay too. That's okay. If you disagree with me, it's okay. We don't always have to think alike. All right. But I do think that as for me, I believe that yes, it's all right to cry. It's all right to let it out. It's all right to to have that emotion coming out of you. You know, Okay, Nisha said, if you feel the need to cry, then cry. Simple. That's that. It's not healthy to suppress emotions. It is, however, important to be able to regulate emotions. Okay, so when you say regulate emotions, what do you mean? Like what different times or how often you should cry, or I mean, what do you mean by regulating emotions? How do you regulate an emotion? That's what I guess that would be a better question. So I'm curious. I want to find out the answer to that one. And then in just a few minutes, we're gonna go to we'll probably jump to different topics back and forth anyway. But I'm curious. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I want to hear what you guys are saying. I want to know what else you guys want to talk about. I don't want to monopolize the entire conversation. So I want to hear what else you guys are talking about. If there's something that that you wanna chat about on here, let me know. Send me a message. Either send it in here or send it to me on WhatsApp. And my WhatsApp again is 954-801-0429. Again, my WhatsApp is 954-801-0429. So go ahead and reach out to me on WhatsApp or reach out to me here. Let me know what else you guys want to talk about, because we still have another 2 hours and 12 minutes. So I want to know what you guys want to chat about, because that's what that's what this platform is supposed to be about. Okay. Roundtable is going to be where everybody gets a chance to talk at the table. We want to hear what everyone's saying. And the round table actually came from back in King Arthur's time, when everyone sat at the table and everyone had the same level. There was no one above anyone else, because a round table doesn't have a head and it doesn't have a tail. Everyone is sitting at the same level at that table. So that's what we're doing here. We were sitting at that same level, and I want you guys to be able to talk to me about what's going on. I want you guys to, if there's an issue, if there's something that's bothering you, if there's something you want to talk about, if it's a good thing, a bad thing, indifferent, whatever, put it out there. Let's talk. Let's chat. Let's be friends. Let's get to know each other. All right. Nisi Rome says, hide your feelings, and above all, never let anyone see you cry. But in fact, it's my opinion. Tough guys do cry. Real men do cry. In my opinion, tough guys do cry and real men do cry. Yes, indeed, they do cry. So we do find a lot of people always say that people would say hide your feelings. They all say never let people see you cry. But yeah, they do see you cry though. They should. I mean, I'm not gonna say if you're in the middle of a fight, somebody comes up to you and say, "What would you say?" And you go, "No, that's not the way to do it." Because then they're really gonna beat you up. That would be kind of crazy if you're in the middle of a fight and somebody does that. Then again, it may make them say, "Oh gosh, I'm not gonna fight this guy. He's already crying." Dr. Daisley says society is not a place for crying, because crying is seen as weak. And that's the thing, though. I mean, and a lot of people do see it as weak, but should they? Should they see it as weak? Because they cry too. We all do. So it's like, should they see it as weak? I don't know. Nisha says, if you're able to regulate your emotions, then every little thing won't make you cry. You'll be able to find those healthy outlets to release those emotions, journaling, exercising, etc. So while it's okay and perfectly healthy to cry, being able to regulate emotions is also really healthy. Good point. And that's a great point. That the journaling that you just mentioned is a great point, because you know what? I think a lot of times what we should do is write down some of the things that we're going through. Because you know what? It seems like such a big thing right now that I'm going through it. Right now, it seems like the world is on your shoulders, a brick wall is falling on your head, and then you write it down, and a month or 2 months later, or even a year later, you look back at it and you go, that's what I thought was so bad? Because when you journal, I'm telling you, it's a great way for you to first off, you put down your emotions, you put down a lot of things on there, but then you look back at it and it shows you the growth. It's a great way to measure your growth, because now you look back at it at something that a year ago you thought was the end of the world, and now you look back at it and you're like, wow, that wasn't so bad, or whatever. And it teaches you not to repeat the same cycle in life. So I think that that journaling is a good thing, and I encourage everyone out there to do that. If you don't have a journal right now, go ahead and get go to Walmart, Publix. Well, I don't know where you guys are. You may be in an area that don't have a Walmart, but go to your favorite store, and get a book, one of those composition books that your kids use or whatever, anything, and just start jotting down some stuff. You're gonna see a year from now, you look back at it and you're gonna be like, wow. If not, just do it on your computer, do it on your phone, either way. But a year from now, you're going to look back and you're going to be surprised at the things that you thought were the end of the world. It's like, it's so crazy. Dr. Daisley says, however, you need a place to put the feelings in perspective. There's a need for, there's a need for a paradigm shift in how we view, I guess, how we view each other and how we view different things. So yes, there is a need for a shift right now. And if this pandemic hasn't taught you guys that there's a need for a paradigm shift, I don't know what will. We have overcome a lot. He said, and how we view emotions. We had so much emotions going through in the past 4 or 5 months, 6 months. So I think that we really have to start to look at some of the things that are going on and start to put it in perspective, put life in perspective, So Derek Jones is saying journaling is an excellent way to cope with the mechanisms outside of your control. And that's true. That's very true. Let's see. Nisha says, I always recommend journaling to my clients. Being able to visually see progress is super insightful. And that excellent advice. So Nisha, when you say your clients, what is it that you do? Go ahead and big up yourself. Tell me what you do. Tell us all. As a matter of fact, you know what? Everybody in here, tell me what you guys do. If you guys have any kind of business or anything like that, whether it's a side hustle or whatever it is that you do, drop it in here, because you know what? Everybody needs to get some extra promotion or whatever. And again, we also offer promotions on the channel. All right, on 246 Bajan Vibes Radio. If you guys want to promote, then we offer that as well. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna run an ad real quick for you guys, which will tell you how to promote on the station if you want to. Now, the numbers go by real quick, so make sure you got your pen. All right. Check it out.
To advertise on this station, you can email BajanVibesRadio@hotmail.com or WhatsApp or call 1-246-264-8 or plus 447931260044. It's that easy.
I told you guys the numbers go by real quick. It's like they go by real quick. I mean, it's like I'm gonna run it again so you guys can hear the numbers, and also so I can get a drink of water. So check it out.
To advertise on this station, you can email BajanVibesRadio@hotmail.com or WhatsApp or call 1-246-264-8211, 1-246-824-1750, or plus 447931260044. It's that easy.
You know, it always amazes me when I hear the European numbers, because European numbers seem like they're 20 characters long. And I'm always like, wow. Every time I hear it, it's like, it amazes me. I'm like, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Could you imagine going up to a girl in the club and you're like, hey, babe, what's your number? Oh, my number is 768-3742-278-799-4382. Okay, wait, never mind. Forget it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Oh, man, that's crazy. So, Derek Jones says this is a traffic jam. TRAPHICCJAM. So hit him up on that hashtag. So it's about time for us to well, not really switch the comment, but switch the topic. But we're gonna just go into a couple other topics as well. So I'm curious, what else do you guys want to talk about? Tell me about some of the topics you want to talk about. Hit me up with what else is on your mind right now? I'm curious. What's on your mind? What is it that you're saying? I want to hear what other people are thinking about. Whatever. Let's talk about. I don't know. You know what's so crazy? Let's talk about this. Trump being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. What the? I don't know. So anyhow, we'll get to that one in just a second. That's going to be on our third hour, I guess, unless you guys want to jump into it right now. But the one that I really want to chat about is the one that I saw on. Let me see if I can find it on here now. It was about the schoolboy that was suspended for bringing a toy gun to virtual school. All right, which I think was kind of crazy, but all right, there we go. All right, so let me go ahead and share out that page with you guys so that you can see it. Okay. There we go. Let's see. And this was in Colorado. Okay, I didn't realize it was over there in Colorado. All right, so let's see now. All right, so here it is. Black seventh grader played with a toy gun during a virtual class at his school called the police. Now, when you look at the rest of it down here, and it was a Nerf gun. So it's not even a real gun. It's a Nerf gun. It's a Nerf gun. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up a Nerf gun for those of y'all that don't know what the Nerf gun looks like. These right here are images of a Nerf gun. So those of you that are watching from that are listening from the radio, go ahead and you can Google Nerf guns and see what they look like. But this is the Nerf gun that they're talking about. It's bright orange and bright blue. It is clearly a toy. It is a Nerf gun. It is a toy, and they call the police. It's kind of crazy. It says Derek was saying the policies preventing police from being criminalized. He's talking about as far as Trump, why Trump is being nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. Dr. Daisley was asking for what, and Derek said for the policies preventing police from being criminalized for their behavior. So that sounds like this is going to be like this could be an interesting conversation right there in itself. I'm curious what you guys are thinking. So like Derek, okay, your comment, do you think he should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, or do you think he should not be nominated for it? I'm curious to find out. Dr. Daisley is also saying if anyone should be given a peace prize, it should be Jared, who brokered a deal between Israel and UAE. Well, and okay, so now I'm curious. I want to know what should be the criteria for Nobel Peace Prize? Should it just be for the leaders of a country or people on that level, or should it be for anyone? You know, there is a hell no. Oh man, so what do you think? Do you guys think it should be anyone that should be able to get the Nobel Peace Prize, or should it just be leaders of countries? Because you got a lot of local people that do a lot of great stuff, and the Nobel Peace Prize committees don't even hear their names. As a matter of fact, how do you nominate someone for a Nobel Peace Prize? That's a good question. Maybe I want to nominate Dr. Daisley. Maybe he wants to nominate me. I don't know. Maybe all y'all want to nominate me. Hey. That would be cool, though. That would be very cool. The Peace Prize is highly political. Indeed, it is. It is. The only normal people that get it are the ones that are really political. Like, oh gosh, I don't remember the young lady's name that couldn't, that was speaking in front of the UN and everything because she couldn't go to school in Afghanistan. I can't remember her name, but she also got shot when she was trying to go to school. I can't remember. I can't remember her name now. It escapes me, but you guys know who I'm talking about. But mostly it's political people, and people who pretty much are doing their job. So it's like, I'm giving you a Peace Prize for doing your job. I mean, seriously, if I give you a Peace Prize for doing your job, what should I do? Should I, take away some of your salary for not doing your job? I'm curious. It's like, it's crazy. So let's go ahead and get another topic. What do you guys want to talk about? We still have 2 hours left, and I'm curious. I want to know what you guys want to talk about tonight. So I am wide open for suggestions. All right. Let's see. Dr. Daisley. Let's see. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can get him to join the show with us. He's normally on the same channel on 246 Beijing Vibes Radio doing, on, like I said, on Monday evenings. So I'm gonna see if I can get him to join with us, and we can see how we can make this happen. So I just sent him the link. Doc, I just sent you the link. If you want to join the video, you could join the video chat, and let's see how we can make it happen. All right, let's get you on here because I'm curious. I want to find out a little bit more about, the Nobel Peace Prize, and let's chat, let's talk, let's make this a real round table. If anyone else out there wants to join and you want to be on camera with us, let me know. Just, either send me a message in here in the chat, or you can WhatsApp me on 954-801-0429. Again, so either send it in the chat or 954-801-0429 on WhatsApp, and I'll send you the link to join on video, so we can be, seeing each other and talking to each other, chit-chatting. All right, you don't have to go and put on makeup and all kind of stuff. That's all right. You don't need to do that. Look at me. I don't have on any makeup. Look at this. Look, this is all natural. Yeah, this is natural beauty. You know how it is. You know what I mean? So let me know if you guys want to join, and let's make this a true round table. Derek, I would love to have you on here if you want to join, or anyone else that's on right now. So let's do this. Let's find out what you guys want to talk about. Now, we see a lot of things going on right now. We see, as a matter of fact, you know what? One of the topics I had a couple months ago, and I asked people, was if you would take a COVID-19 vaccine as a condition of going back to your job. And a lot of people were like, yeah, I would. Well, just the other day, they had all these testing and everything going on. This was this week, I believe. And come to find out that one of them that they thought was almost ready to release to the public, now it has very dangerous side effects. So, I mean, I'm like, I don't understand why people are so quick to take a vaccine that they have no idea about. They don't know what the side effect is gonna be. They have no idea about it. So, but yet they're quick to say, yeah, I'll do it. Why? Why are people so quick to jump on it and say they would do it? Now, this is one of the worst parts about rushing a vaccine, especially one like this. And this is in my opinion. Again, I'm not a medical doctor. I don't pretend to be one on the internet. All right. So this goes without saying. This is just my opinion, and it has no medical bearing. Okay. All right. So my thing is, if they were to create a vaccine, they're going to try to give it, of course, to first responders first, because those are the ones on the front line, and those are the ones that would probably would need it more than anyone else. Because if the person is a doctor, a nurse, a paramedic, a policeman, whatever, they're coming in contact with so many people who could be sick that they need this vaccine first. Now, the problem with that, in my opinion, the problem with that is that if you give it to the first responders first, and those first responders end up getting sick because of side effects of this vaccine, now we are hurting the people that we are waiting, that we're dependent on to save us. So then what is going to happen? We are already at a shortage of first responders. We are already at a shortage of them right now because everyone is stretched really thin. So then we're going to get these vaccines that we know nothing about. We're going to give it to the people who we're dependent on. And then when those people get sick, then we're going to be stretched even thinner. What happens when you stretch a rubber band too much? It pops, it breaks. So we're going to try to stretch a system that's already stretched to the point of breaking the system. Who's the genius that's coming up with these ideas that we're going to run this, we're going to rush this vaccine and get it done in 2 or 3 months? I mean, come on. Anybody that's ever baked a cake, cooked a meal, anything like that would tell you, if the recipe says leave it in the oven for 45 minutes, you can't take it out in 15 minutes just because you're hungry. So if it takes years to do a vaccine, we can't rush it in 3 months just because we want it done before Election Day. Come on, people. I mean, and then there are people out there that are saying they'll take the vaccine. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just telling you now, as for me, no. Nope. Nope. I don't care how many other ways you say it, no. The answer is still no. N-O. And that's it for me. Because I'm just saying it takes years to develop a vaccine. But now because this president wants to win the election, he wants to rush and get one done before Election Day. Dude, you're going to get it done before Election Day, but the people that you're giving it to aren't going to be able to go out and vote because whatever it is you're giving them is going to make their arm fall off or their throat swell. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. I'm just saying. So my question to you guys again is, how many of you out there will take a vaccine if one were available today? So that's going to be this hour's topic, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on there so we can have that conversation. Let's go ahead and see. Looks like Dr. Daisley is joining us right now.
Pleasant good evening.
Good evening to you too, Dr. Daisley. How's everything?
I'm fine. I had told you give me a minute because I was in a meeting.
All right, no problem. While we're talking, I'm gonna go ahead and update the question that for this hour. And
Okay.
this question for this hour is gonna be would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if there were one available right now? If they told you tomorrow that they finalized the vaccine, would you take it?
Hell no. I don't think I would be. I think I would take it if it were mandatory. But if it weren't mandatory, and I even think if it was mandatory, I would still give it a little. I would still be apprehensive about taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a feeling that because you don't know what persons are putting in your body,
Right.
They don't know what kind of effect. That's what I'm trying to say. They don't know what kind of effect it can have on your body. They've never tested it on you before. They don't know what it does to humans, and No, I don't think we should be guinea pigs, you know?
And so what if your job told you you have to take this in order to come back to work?
Why you like to complicate things, man? but I think, like I said, if it weren't mandatory, I would be more prone to take it. And in a case where you have to support your family, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but I mean, if let's say for example you go ahead and you take it and there's a side effect to it, you can't support your family then either.
But then there's a side effect. There is another side effect. if you don't
Well,
take it, there's
well,
also a side effect as well.
here's
Either
the
way,
thing. Let's go in alphabetical order from Z to A because my last name begin with B, and it's going to take a lot of people before you get to B. So if you start at the Z's and you come all the way down, yeah, before you get to B, we're going to see some of them side effects, and I'll be able to make a conscious decision. Because I mean, again, it takes years for people for vaccines to go to market. I mean, years. Some vaccines can take 20 years to go to market,
but
and
it
yet
doesn't sound as though that. I heard several countries already announcing that they have a vaccine on the books.
yeah. But you want to know something? That's because it's making money.
Yeah.
You have how many
Yeah.
billions of people on this earth?
Sure.
Think about it. There's so many billions
Yeah.
of people on this earth, and if you had the first vaccine, and even if you sold to, let's say each vaccine costs $100, each shot
Mhm.
costs $100, and you sold to just 10 million people, just
Yeah.
10 million. Remember now, there's billions on this earth, but you
Yes.
only sold to 10 million. You already made $1 billion
Yes.
off
Of
of just the
course.
10 million. And hell, 10 million, that's just Broward County right here. That's just the county that I live in. That's not even all of Florida. That's not even all of South Florida. So if you sold to all of the state of Florida, you'd be a multi billionaire.
It's an
Now the
interesting
fact
thing
that
to invest in, huh?
yeah, but the fact that it makes the arm fall off or something, that's a whole different story. Because you gotta remember something. A lot of these people that get these things, a lot of these people that push them don't get them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Bill Gates is one of the proponents of this vaccine. I know that he is pushing very hard for persons to consider getting the vaccine. Obviously, he has a lot of investment
Hmm.
involved. I mean, I don't know what type of investment he has because I haven't seen the
Oh, trust me,
documents.
there's monetary investment involved.
Yeah.
I mean, we know. Let me put it to you this way: when they start telling me about getting it, let me see their children get it first. Bill, go ahead and give it to your two kids first, and let me see. Trump, go ahead and give it to your kids, and let me see what happened there. All right, go ahead, give it to them, and let me see first. Any doctor or anyone that wants me to do it, I want to see them do it first, and I want to see them give it to their kid first. Because if you're not going to give it to your child, I'm not taking it. If you don't trust it enough to give it to your child or your mother or whoever, I'm out. You know what I mean? For real.
Yeah.
For me, Nisha was saying no for her too.
Yeah, I feel that they are going to connect it to something that is pertinent to the human race. Now we don't have a choice but to take. They're going to put it in such a way that you don't have a choice but to take it. For example, like you said, what if they say you can't work without taking the vaccine or travel without taking the vaccine? It appears as though this COVID-19 has affected, not appears, it has affected our lives in a way that I have never seen any other disease affected our lives. And we weren't here for the Spanish flu.
Right.
You
But the
know?
thing is, but yeah, and I mean, it's affected our lives in a really bad way. But we cannot let it take away our sense of common sense, or because now it's like, okay, we want to give away freedoms just because we're scared. You see what I'm saying? I
Of
mean, it's
course.
I'm not saying that we don't have a reason to be afraid. Of course, this
Oh, yeah.
COVID is
This
a
is a
serious
pretty
thing.
this is a pretty big reason, Steve, to
Yeah,
be
exactly. That's what I'm
to,
saying.
to be afraid. But if you
Yeah, I'm not
have
saying we shouldn't be afraid. We definitely should be afraid. But we can't give up our common sense. We can't give up our freedoms and just say, well, go ahead and stick me with whatever you want. But I understand you're not going to take it. You and your family, you're not taking it. And none of the people in the top of the government are taking it. The senators, the congressmen, none of them are taking it. But we're going to, I'm good.
How many persons are affected worldwide by COVID-19?
That's a good question. Let me see. I'm going to bring that up now, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this much. I think the majority of them are probably here in the United States.
Wow.
Because we got a lot.
The United States has the highest number. Then Brazil trails just behind you guys.
Yeah, because we got a lot of them. When you think about it, just in New York City alone, not New York State, just New York City alone, have more than the entire country of Canada. And that's the crazy part. So how are you going to have a small city like New York? And it's not small. New York is a big city, yes, but it's small in comparison to the size of the country of Canada. So how are you going to have a city that that's crazy. Let's see. So right now, going to the world meter, it says 27,998,460. That's how many cases of coronavirus
affected. Okay, yeah, 27 million.
27, almost 28 million, you could say. And
Well, think about this. This Spanish flu in 1918, I think it was, affected 500 million people.
Right.
That's a third of the Earth's population. Which means that the kind of lockdown that we are seeing, I don't think they demonstrated.
They did actually, though.
Yeah.
In the 1918s, and the teens, yeah, they did, because they had locked down the world back then too. They were wearing masks. They were doing similar things to what we're doing now. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna look for the link so I could show it to you on here, because that was one of the things, let's see.
That's quite interesting, actually.
Let me see if I can find some of those shots. Let's see, because that was one of the big things. And apparently we didn't learn from that, because we should have been to the point where we were saying, okay, wait, hold on. I'm hearing something playing. Is that your video playing?
Yeah. I pulled up the video on the just now as well. You said you were going to check yours.
Derek is saying all I have to say is Tuskegee, and they don't even have a measure in place for testing it, much less administering a vaccine. And that's true. Tuskegee experiment. I tell you, you just say Tuskegee to a lot of black people in America, and that's exactly. They should say exactly, Derek. And for those of you that are listening on the radio, and you're in Europe and you're different places, and you're not familiar with it, the Tuskegee experiment was an experiment that the government in the United States did when they affected the black population in Tuskegee with syphilis.
Yes.
And they actually monitored to see how they how you die from syphilis. It's like, and a lot of guys only got cured because they went to the military, and when they went to the military, they got one shot, boom, cured. But they never said that they were curing these people. They kept telling them all the time, "Oh, keep coming back to the doctor," and all they were doing was monitoring the progress of the disease. So how are we to trust that what this government or any government tells us is true, when you got things like population control and all different kind of stuff? So it's like, how do we trust that what they're saying is true?
Do you believe that they're really trying to control the population?
I believe population control is something that happens. I'm not gonna say it's Well, let me go back to the picture. See here, this is Spanish flu 19 of the 1918 and the early 1920s. See the people are wearing the masks and everything too. Even this lady right here, at her desk. You know, you
But
got people out here.
you said earlier that they hadn't learned from the experience. But I really would like to know, what is it about us human beings that we seem not to learn from our past?
Well, I don't want to say that we didn't learn, because we did, but I just think we didn't care.
Which is okay. Okay, yeah. Learning can take place, but if ignorance is present, then obviously it would have a different result. Okay.
Because
Wow.
now I'm gonna go to YouTube and bring up video from President Obama spoke about it. President Bush spoke about it. They all talked about how we need to have a recovery plan, and yet none of this was done, and Congress never did it.
But
And
this
then
was but this had nothing to do with COVID. This was something totally. This was just an event that some
right,
worldwide pandemic, yeah, because of the permafrost, right?
but which is, if we had a plan in place, whether it was COVID or Ebola or whatever, if anything broke out, then we would already have a plan in place, and we could say, okay, let's pull the trigger, make this happen. But then Congress kept saying no, 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 and then even when we had signs that this was a pandemic, still Trump is still sitting there going, well, no, we only have one and we're going to curb it. And no.
And Trump knew that
he knew.
It was deadly. I saw that he recently admitted in a book that he knew it was deadly, but he didn't want to panic the people. If you know it's deadly, why would you keep that information to yourself?
And even right now, I still tell people the same thing. We are going into a Great Depression, just like we saw in the 1920s.
You think we're going? I think we're there already.
Oh, no, we're not there yet. We're in a recession, but watch. It's going to get way worse. Way, way, way worse. Way worse. Because the
entire country's closed. You have entire countries closed. You have entire countries closed. Small businesses closing. I mean,
Australia's closed. A lot of them are closed. But I think that we're going into to a really bad recession, and I mean we're getting into the recession, and we're going to get into a depression. I mean, it's going to be really bad, really, really bad. I'm looking for to show you pictures of the food line in the 1920s, and right now we're actually seeing pretty much the same things happening again. You look at how many food lines we have here in the United States, where people are lining up for food, for just to be able to get food, basic necessity, just food. And you got cars that are lined up for miles, and these are people in cars because they don't allow walk-ups. So the people that don't have a car aren't getting food. So I'm telling you, when you're in Barbados and you're in Jamaica and Trinidad and all these other places, and you sit and you see, the TV shows, and everybody thinks that the TV shows are all like, oh my God, they all live like 8 is enough, and all these great shows. No, it's not. Because I'm telling you, I could go out to the corner right here, right now, and I could show you a bunch of homeless people sleeping on the corner, and it's raining, so they're sleeping in the rain, and I can show you that right now. So everywhere in this country isn't paved with gold, and that's what people seem to think. But the food lines are growing, and I'm telling you, people have to prepare for it, because in the next 5 years, it's going to get to the point that food is going to be like something people are going to be robbing for. It's not, not even robbing for money, they're going to be robbing for food.
Most definitely. And that isn't even the case of the lack of water, and that will sweep the population very soon. We know we have at least 10 more years, and then that's it. There's so much there are so much crises that can't be averted. And I think that the larger governments know this, and this is one of the reasons why, they are trying to, because if persons are inside, they can control them, to some extent. But what happens when they run out of food and they have to go outside? And then there's fighting and looting and stuff.
But one of the things that we have to do as people too is we have to prepare for these things. We know these things are happening. Prepare for the shift, like you just said. A paradigm shift. Like you were saying earlier in the conversation, or in the comment. But we have to prepare for that paradigm shift. I mean, you got people that live in Barbados, people that live in the islands, people that live here in the United States, for example, and you can grow stuff. If you already know that there's going to be a shortage of food, start growing food.
Exactly. I grew 3 banana trees within the space of time that I was visiting family from December until now. 4 actually, 4.
Let's say me a hand of banana now. Send me a hand of banana. I want a hand of.
You gotta do.
I want a hand of green banana so I could cook it, and a hand of ripe banana so I could just eat it just like that. Send me some banana.
I promise you, if you ever visit Barbados, you know you can have a hand of bananas.
Well, after this is done, I'm coming to visit.
Yes,
I'm coming.
You know you're welcome. Most definitely.
I still have relatives in St. George, all over St. George, St. Philip, St. Thomas, you name it. I got relatives everywhere.
And you have a lot of banana trees in St. George as well, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got all kind of trees.
So maybe I can get some. I can get some suckers from there as well. I want some plantains. Plantains is what I would like, but they're hard to get.
I'll put you in touch with my uncle. He got a lot of trees and everything up in that area.
Definitely, man. Most definitely. I would not say no. As a matter of fact, I know my neighbors probably think I'm crazy every time I'm in the garden trying to plant something, because I can see where it's going. And it isn't about providing food, but it's also being close to nature, connecting. Yes. Because I really think it's going to be a way of life very soon. Not a form of provision, but a way of life very soon.
And the thing is too is even with the food that they're producing, the chemicals and everything in these foods, it's easier to just grow your own. It's better to grow your own. So, I mean,
most definitely.
Even people that live here in the U.S. or in Europe or wherever that seem to think they can't do it because of whatever. Yes, you can. I mean, It's not. If you have a balcony, you could grow some things on a balcony. You don't have to grow everything. I'm not saying grow a banana tree, but if you have a balcony, you can grow your time. But that's true too. Because it's only going to grow as big as the pot that you have it in. So if you have it in a small, if you have it in a bucket like a 5-gallon bucket, it'll
Still get bananas, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. But if you grow thyme, if you grow parsley, if you grow the things that you use to cook,
exactly.
Yeah, it helps.
Whatever I get, I try to get some roots. I'm actually thinking the next step is to plant some ginger. I really have a small space, but what I'm doing is every time I separate 3 to 4 feet space, and I put something in the ground. Because when it first came, I planted spinach, and the spinach, I made a trellis, and the spinach grew really well. And then the caterpillars came in and ate it, and then the African snails as well, So I had to cut it down and start all over again, and that's why I'm adding the bananas, because I find they don't eat the banana leaves. So the bananas are a bit too bitter for them, so they stay away from it. So yeah,
that's true, But to the people that are listening, if you guys are listening, I'm curious: would you guys take a COVID-19 vaccine if one became available tomorrow? And I mean, I know we have people listening from all over, from Europe, from the U.S., from the islands, from everywhere. So I'm asking everyone: would you take? Got a question. Do you trust your government enough to take a COVID-19 vaccine if one became available tomorrow? That's the question. So that's the question. Do you trust your government or even your doctor enough to take a vaccine if one became available tomorrow? I'd say I got some new people jumping in. Maurice Stewart, what's going on? I think Maurice is up in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. So guys, as you're coming in, let me know where you're watching from, because I'm curious. I want to know where my viewing audience is coming from. Um, so definitely, and those of you that are listening on the radio, 246 Beijing Vibes Radio, if you want to get in touch with us, go ahead and shoot a WhatsApp. Shoot me a WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. Again, 954-801-0429 on WhatsApp. And, just let me know, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available tomorrow? I'm curious. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. The rest of you that are watching online right now, you could just drop it in a message and let me know. Would you take it if one were available tomorrow?
I would probably.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I would probably take it in consideration for my kids. For example, if I am a parent, I might probably consider if I take it, I might keep them safer.
Yeah, but see,
because we're not working with the premise that there is something in it to affect us or anything. I'm just working with the premise that it does work and it does cure you, for example.
Okay, but here's the thing.
We don't know.
But how long would it take before you know for sure that it does work?
Maybe after you die, I guess.
Exactly. That's not a chance I'm willing to take.
And so the question that you're asking is kind of leading, because you're asking if persons to trust the government.
Which is my question. Do you trust your government enough to take that vaccine?
I trust my Barbados government, I think, but I don't know about other governments.
You think?
Yeah, I can only be honest. I trust my Barbados government.
You see, but the problem with trust. The problem with trust is that you only trust them as much as they trust the other person that gives it to them.
Of course.
So because Barbados government did not create that vaccine, so they're trusting whoever they got it from. They're trusting either the one in China or the one in Russia or the one in the United States or wherever.
I was even flabbergasted to find out. Well, I found out in research two things. China is indeed offering the development of the vaccine, and I was thinking to myself, but if the whole world thinks, because we don't know, that it originated, why would I trust Asia? Right?
But that's the thing. That's it right there. Most people don't think like that. Most people don't think. Most people are so quick to just believe everything their government tells them, everything the news tells them. So then most people don't think, this and that, and there's so much that people don't think about, and they're so quick to just believe everything they hear. Yeah. I mean, like literally.
But it isn't, Steve. It isn't the people's fault that they don't think. We have we have been dumbing down our society for years. We introduced gaming, for example. Gaming has made young people less lateral thinkers, caused them to stop questioning. It's almost as if the virtual world is becoming even more real than our physical world, which is physical. Once before, you can tell if something exists because you can see it and touch it and you can feel it. Now all of a sudden that's being changed, because you can't touch a virtual world, but yes, it is being given. I'll show you how much credence is given. If I wrote a letter to someone and I said, okay, I don't like you, the chances of that hitting the newspaper is less likely to me creating a tweet.
That's true.
So, I was thinking to myself, like, how is it possible that the tweets of the president or any other person of authority is taken with the same criteria and level as a written letter or spoken word?
Well, when you say the president, that's a little bit different, because anything the president says is pretty much, but anything that anyone in that position says is taken with the weight of the position that it comes from. So even if but I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. Just a tweet on a tweet online can cause, and it's true. It can literally
It's
cause
yeah,
World War III.
yeah.
Yeah,
He caused
that's why
he
we have to be
caused
careful. That's why we have
Elon
to be
Musk
careful
to
putting that
lose
guy back
how
in.
much percentage? How much
What's that?
percentage did Elon, how much percentage of stock did Elon Musk lost because of a tweet from the president?
Exactly. Yeah,
I
and not just him, but also TikTok and all these others because of
yes,
just
yes.
tweets. And the crazy part is he never gives you anything. He always say, I feel that blah blah blah, and then people take just because he say I feel or I
Yeah.
think or
But
maybe.
he is a mastermind though at manipulation. When it comes to putting information out there and not taking responsibility for the information. If you had a position, you should be held accountable for the information you put out there, just as
That's
any
true.
other person is. But because he is the president, I guess it's because he's rich, they decide, you know what? Okay, he can literally do whatever he wants.
But that's not the way it should be though, because the
Of
position
course
of the
not.
president of the United States, the position of any leader of
He's
any country,
elected, of course.
and and it
Yes,
should always be held in the highest regard of that country. But if you have
yes.
a guy that's sitting in that position, and that guy is sitting there and just spewing out foolishness at any given time. Let me give you an example. Okay, when Barack Obama was president, for years the same Donald Trump kept saying, "Oh well, we need to see his birth certificate. How do we know he was born in America?" And the crazy part is, you have people that are so stupid and so dumb and so ignorant. And yes, I use the words stupid, dumb, and ignorant. That when he said that, even though Barack Obama showed his birth certificate and showed he was born in Hawaii, when he said, "Well, Hawaii isn't part of America," stupid people would believe it. I'm like,
but
how the
again,
hell could you?
but
I'm
again,
like, how
you
could this man say
cannot.
that and people believe it?
You know what? Our society isn't like it used to be. Information isn't now available to the masses like it was before, as much as we think it is. For example, we say we got technology, and with technology, we're closer to information. But no, society is creating technology closer to you and giving you information closer to you, but creating circumstances where you are away from the information
Yeah, but here's the
because
thing.
you're stuck. Yeah,
But people that grew up and went to school in this country should know that Hawaii is a state of the United States. So for them
yes,
to
they should
believe
know.
for them to
They
believe
should
him.
know.
But then again, you know what though? Honestly, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. One thing I gotta say about this guy is he told people what he was from the beginning, and they were
Yeah,
still stupid enough to vote for him.
yeah.
He told them that he
Yeah.
was going to alienate us from the rest of the world. He told them he was going to cut us off from the rest of the world, and they voted for him. He told them that he was everything he told them that he was going to do. He
He did.
did, just not in the way that people wanted it to be done. People, when
Yeah.
they said they were going to alienate us from the rest of the world, they thought that America was going to be able to just keep recycling money inside this country, but they kept forgetting that everything comes from outside this country.
Yeah.
Everything
But do
comes from.
you? But even within the context of his, I heard someone said that if when a person shows you who they are, believe them. And
Yes,
he didn't. To be honest with you, I think the American people thought just probably like they thought with Obama. Um, let's get something new. Let's get something different. But what people don't realize is that sometimes something new or something different doesn't necessarily mean effective. You have a company, for example, and you're tired of the boss, and they get rid of the boss, and you're like, oh my God, yeah. But then the new boss comes in, and he's good for the first year, and then things start to change because behind that boss is also a boss. I don't think that the president of the United States, is as ignorant as people think he is. But I also think, in terms of being void of knowledge, I think he ignores knowledge. He ignores information and he trumps it because of pride. You know,
I don't think he ignores it. I think he manipulates it the way he wants. Because here's the thing: um, if you're my friend and I tell you, vote for, I mean not vote for, buy stock in Tesla. Let's just use Tesla as the example. I said, don't wait a minute, don't buy it yet. Give it a couple of days because I'm gonna let out a tweet that's gonna make the stock go down. So now it's in a position for you to buy it. And then I go and tweet and I say something and the Tesla stock go whoop, way down. Now you, my friend, buys it. And then I come back and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that about Tesla. It's a great company, and Elon Musk is a great guy, wonderful guy, great guy." Now all of a sudden, the people start buying, and the stock go back up again. But because you, being my friend, you jumped in when it was low, you made good money. Now, of course, we don't know if the money travels on the back end or not. But you being my friend, guess what you do? Now you go ahead and nominate me for the Nobel Peace Prize. Like, really?
But
How the hell
that's
did
inside.
you get
Listen,
nominated?
but the level of the, sometimes when you really think about it, the level of lack of transparency. Okay, because the the rules, the political rules do not apply. The political rules are different rules. International rules in politics are different to domestic rules. Like countries govern themselves, nations govern
Right.
themselves, and come up with their own principles of how they are going to be governed. And so when you cannot look at a president or a leader and say that the person should be moral, because political, it has nothing to do with morals. Morals are relegated to spirituality, if you really think about it. And so what we are
Which according to this
expecting
guy,
from the leader, yes, that's why there
which
was
according to this guy,
separation of church and
he
state.
thinks he's so spiritual and he thinks he's so, he thinks he's so holy. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I,
I'm gonna alone.
I was I don't play devil's advocate, so I need that for sure.
you know. But I think that one of the things that we really have to start looking at is, again, we have to look at the trust that we put in and the people that are in government and where their loyalties lie. I mean,
Yeah.
again, going back to the COVID-19 vaccine, a lot of, for example, Donald Trump, he wants a vaccine out before election day because he wants to look good for election day. He wants people to say, "Oh my God, this guy, he actually did what he said he was going to do. He got a vaccine out before election day. Let me vote for him." That's what he wants. Does he care that it's gonna hurt a lot of people? I can't say he does or he doesn't. My opinion is I don't think he does. I really don't think he does. Um, if he did, he would have followed the same thing that most of the other countries did, and shut down a lot of stuff in order to make it happen. And I know people always say, whenever I say that, people say, "Oh, well, but you can't compare the United States to a country as small as Barbados or Jamaica, one of them, because it's easier for them to shut it down." Okay, but here's the thing: Australia was shut down. Canada was shut down, and Canada is the same size as America. So if they can shut it down, if Justin Trudeau can do it up there in Canada, I can't see why the Orange Man can't do it here in the United States. All right, and if
But
Canada,
Eric,
huh?
yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and if Canada can control their COVID-19 infection rate that is so low, I can't see why we can't do the same thing here too. I'm gonna bring up the COVID-19 numbers for Canada versus the United States, and let's see what we're looking at. Because people are always like, "Oh, well, and they come up with a million and two excuses as to why they can't be done. But I don't see why. I'm shocked. I'm still lost. Like, why can't we do the same thing that Canada was doing? Let's see. All right, so Canada versus the United States. Let's see. Actually, I see one here that says Canada versus other countries. Let's see. All right, so when we look at this map now that I'm about to bring up, let me bring that one up. There it is. Can you see it, or do you need me to increase it a little bit? Let me increase it a little bit.
I can't see it clearly now.
All right, I'm bringing it up now. There we go. So when we look at this map and we are looking at cases by per million, look where Japan is. You know,
I literally can't see it, but okay.
Japan is like only a couple million. Oh yeah, you okay, let me bring it full screen on here and see. Is it a little bit better now?
No, I literally like.
Oh, you're probably watching it. You're looking at it on your phone.
On my mobile, yeah.
All right, that's why. All right. So then when you look at New Zealand, Korea, Australia, all of them are like down to almost nothing. Canada is at look at the amount of cases here in Canada, right? Canada is way down here. The United States is beating everybody. The United States is beating everybody. We have more than everybody else. When you look at it, if you put Japan, New Zealand, Korea, Australia, Canada, and that's per million. That's per million. All right. So when you look at it, and we have over 300 million people. So look how much we have. Look how big we are. If you put Canada, Australia, Korea, New Zealand, Japan, Finland, and Norway together, and throw Denmark in there, you're probably going to come right up to where we are. I mean, it's crazy.
But
so when
the way that they're downplaying it is also scary, because it appears as if they're doing all that they can. But right now, they seem to even be more focused on politics than anything else. Earlier, I had commented in your chat, and you had said someone wanted to nominate the president for the Peace Prize. Who nominated him for the Peace Prize?
I'm trying to see now. Let's see. Let me look and see. Because this was I think this was the second time he was nominated for the Peace Prize. He was nominated by a Norwegian official.
Listen, if he were to be given the Peace Prize, I think they will be sending a message that you literally. Well, okay, all right. Let me make sure that I don't give information that is left field or outside of perspective. I have said Jared Kushner should be nominated. The reason why is because Jared Kushner was the one who went to Israel and pushed the deal through to create a peace deal between Israel and the United Emirates. That is the reason why I said what I said. Now Trump is his father.
Apparently they're saying that Trump. So Trump is taking credit for that.
But you see, it is Jared Kushner's hard work, not Donald Trump's, because Donald Trump couldn't get it pushed through, right?
But for right now, that's the reason why they're saying that they nominated him. Trump nominated for Nobel Peace Prize by Norwegian official, citing the Israel-UAE deal.
But he is not the one who he brokered the deal, but he's not the one. It was Jared Kushner who went to Israel, sat with those officials, and saw it through. See? But again, he's the one who appointed Jared Kushner. Yeah.
But you know how it is, you know what I mean? You do the work and your boss gets the credit.
I guess.
But honestly, I mean, a lot of these deals that we see that go through, we will see the things that happen with these deals 5, 10 years down the road, because we
Yes.
see these deals now and then we think, oh, it's a great deal, until we start to realize what was the deal. Because people always seem to think that these people walk into the country and the country just gives them whatever they want because they're what,
No,
you know
no.
what I mean? So
There
it's
is a buyback for sure.
exactly, it's a quid pro quo,
There's a
and
buyback.
it's always
Yes.
going to be, I need to get
Something
something too.
else.
I'm not,
Something else.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Something else.
what is it that we're giving them? That's my question. What is
Yeah.
it that we're giving them?
I don't
You
think
know,
that would be publicized anyhow.
nope, not
Because
anytime
again,
soon.
political law. There is a law that governs politics that does not govern civilians, and that's what people need to understand. So our expectation of leaders is out of the expectation is unrealistic because we are judging them on principles and levels that doesn't exist only for
Right.
us. You know, the law of the jungle, as they say. It's very interesting. You know, dog world.
So the question again to you guys that are watching is, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available tomorrow? And for those of you that are listening on 246 Beijing Vibes Radio, you can hit me up on WhatsApp on 954-801-0429. Again, hit me up on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. All right, again, it's Steve Barrow. We're here at Roundtable with Steve. We have Dr. Adrian Daisley on, and his show is actually on Beijing, on 246 BeijingVibesRadio.com on Monday evening from 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right. So adjust the time for wherever you guys live, because you know you're all over the place. All right. So would you take the COVID vaccine if one were available? And again, my thing is, honestly, I don't trust the government enough to take it. I honestly don't.
Okay.
Well, more than just that, not just I don't trust the government enough, which I don't, but I don't trust that a vaccine, like again, like I said, vaccines normally take years to produce. I mean, 10, 15, 20 years to produce a vaccine. And for them to tell me that they rushed it in just a matter of months, even if they started it, let's say they started the vaccine back in January when this first hit the scene. You know, when it first hit,
Right.
or even not even January. Let's say they hit it when it first hit the scenes late last year. Um, Even if you work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week with a team of thousands of people, I still don't see how you're going to bring down 10, 15, 20 years down to a couple of months. I don't see it. It's physically
Well, there
impossible.
is even, you know, there was even a question about whether or not they should infect, you know, the world with COVID-19, and it was being considered as an option because they were thinking it's the best. This is the best way to control it,
Well, that's exactly how
inoculate
vaccines work.
everyone.
Well, when vaccines work like that, they actually put a little bit of it in your body and let your body fight it off. But what about the person that you put a little bit in their body and they can't fight it off? Like I see so many people that get the flu shot and get the flu,
Right.
and then they say, "Oh, well, you
Yes.
know, it would have been worse if you didn't get the flu." Well, how about I don't get the flu shot and take my chances? I I have never gotten a flu shot in my life. Never. And I can tell you, in the past 20 years, I think I had the flu once. Once.
I
And
wasn't sick.
probably more
I
than
wasn't
20
sick.
years.
Yeah, I wasn't sick often until I went to Europe. And when I went to Europe, I got a flu shot, and after that, I started getting sick. So I understand that, you know, sometimes you don't know how your body is going to react to certain things, and that is definitely a consideration.
That's why I don't
But
get the flu shot.
I wanna thank you for letting me hop on to your stream tonight and have a little short conversation. Um, you, you know, these topic areas are really pertinent to society, and I'm sure that many persons are wondering what to do. Right now, we are dealing with the COVID-19 here in the schools. And, schools are due to return on the 21st of September. And as a result of this, this is one of the reasons why we as parents are running around with our, seeing our heads are cut off, because we're still we have word from the ministry, but we still would like to see a more workable solution for those. The schools are doing as best as they can, but there are still certain things that the Ministry of Education needs to put in place. So yeah, hopping out and hopping in to another meeting because of this stuff.
All right. All right. Yeah. So definitely, it was a pleasure having you on, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you. Yeah, and
we support each other, man.
Definitely, you know how we do. Yeah. And again, you guys, thank you very much. You have a good night.
You too, man. Okay.
All right. And again, guys, Dr. Daisley's show is on Monday nights at from 3 to 7, actually, on Monday night here on 246 Beijing Vibes Radio. So you guys check it out, 246BeijingVibesRadio.com, and check out his show. He has really good conversations, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. All right. In the meantime, I gotta just run a quick commercial for you so that we can just get the what do you call this, let's be in compliant, and let's get the TV station or the radio station recognition out there. All right, and actually this commercial right here is pretty cool, because I think we need to get something like this in the US. This is something in Europe, but let's see what we can do about getting something like this in the US. Check it out. Actually, there we go. I think I need to run it on the other one. See, that's all right. You know how we do. We get the it takes a little while to get used to things, especially when we're doing it live. All right. So here we go.
As Afro-Caribbeans, we're proud of our sense of community. Oh yeah, we're very big on that. We try to help each other in any way we can, except when it comes to saving each other's lives. Even if all we have to do is put our names on a bone marrow register. Not quite so big on that, are we?
There are 24 times more white people than black on the UK bone marrow register. If you're black or mixed race, join the register today. Visit aclt.org and see how you could be the one to save a life. ACLT, unite to fight leukemia.
And that's something that we don't really talk about here in the US, the bone marrow register. A lot of people don't really think about it, and we really need to start to look into things like that, because there's so many different things like she just mentioned on the promo. Leukemia is one of the biggest ones that people need to get that bone marrow transplant, and and it's like, the people out there that are dying because we're not on that register. We haven't been tested. We haven't, it's crazy. And I'll admit, I'm one of those people that haven't registered on the bone marrow register. But I'm going to tell you this: after we get off the show, I'm going to go on there, because if this had been my child or my mom or someone, a relative or something, I would want someone to help them. So it would only be fair for me to do the same and try to help someone else. So if you guys, and I know I'm scared of needles, trust me, I'm scared of needles. So for them to start talking about, even just taking blood, no, I'm scared. I'm scared of that. That's why I know I couldn't be a junkie, because when it comes time to shoot up, I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, but this is the best cocaine. Yeah, I'm good. No. Can I just rub it on my hand and maybe it'll just, go in like topical creams or something? Nah, I'm good. So going back to the question that we had at hand before, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available right now? If they approve a vaccine tomorrow, would you take that vaccine? Would you allow your children to take that vaccine, that COVID-19 vaccine, if one were available tomorrow? I'm curious. I want to know what you guys are thinking. I want to hear what you're saying. I want to know if you would do it. I mean, some people would and some people won't, but I'm curious. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear why not. Derek already made his point really clear when he says all I have to say is Tuskegee, and they don't even have a measure in place for testing it, much less administering the vaccine. So Derek already made his point really clear on that one. So I'm curious. I want to know what else you guys are thinking. Would you take a COVID-19 vaccine tomorrow if one were available? That was that was the question we just had for the past hour. But let's see what else. What else do you guys want to chat about? I'm trying to figure out what else. Trying to see what else we can chat about tonight, because there's a lot that we can talk about. You know how we do. We still have another hour left, and I think that there's a lot that we really can talk about. Let's see. So, would you guys take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available? All right. And let me see what else. Oh, the first question that we had tonight was, is it okay for a man to cry? So I see we got some new people jumping in right now, jumping in the conversation. So those are the two questions that I'm posing to you. Would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if it were available now? If they approve one tomorrow, would you take it? And the second one is it okay for men to cry? Those are the two top questions. So, I actually sent the invitation to a couple other friends. So I'm waiting to see if any of them would jump on, if they're going to jump in, let's see. I'm sending a message again to see if they're going to come in, just so we can have that other perspective on there, I see Jose is on here. What's going on, Jose? How's it going? So tell me a little bit again. Tell me, guys, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one became available tomorrow? That's the question of the day, or the question of the hour, actually. I'm also going to look on here to see what else we have as far as, let's see what else we have as far as the what am I talking about now? Oh, on CNN, see what else they have that we can talk about, or on the news, see what else they have. You know what's so funny? It's crazy that when I'm trying to find American topics, I have to go on the Caribbean. I'm not Caribbean, on the European station. Karen is asking me, did I miss the topic? Should men cry? I was interested in hearing that as well. Karen, are you still on right now? Because if you are, send me a message. Let me know. Let's chat about it. I'm curious. I want to hear what your side is. What your side of the conversation is. All right. Let's see. All right, there we go. So, guys, I'm curious. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Should men cry? And that's the first topic. And then the second topic is, would you? You could answer any one of these questions. Jump in, or if there's anything else y'all want to talk about, let's just talk about that too. All right, it's not any one thing in particular. Let's make this a true round table. Let's see. So, I'm looking at comments on WhatsApp as well. All right, so Karen was asking me if she missed the topic. I'm like, nope, we can still talk about it. So, and I want to hear what you guys are thinking. If you're saying, yes, men should cry, no, they shouldn't cry. All these different things. And I also want to hear, these are the two topics tonight. Would you take a COVID-19 vaccine, and should men cry? Those are our two topics. Drop your comment right there in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. All right. I wish we could play some music tonight too, but you know how Facebook is doing. They'll kick me off like they did last week. Pesky Facebook. I don't know, man. You know how they do. All right. But in the meantime, and I love playing this one right here. This is like one of my new favorites. You guys are ready for it? Ready for it? Here it
You are
is.
now watching Roundtable Steve.
Yeah, that was Nicole Murphy, Eddie Murphy's ex-wife. And then wait. One more.
This is Lamont Rucker, and you're watching Roundtable with Steve.
That's what I'm talking about. See, so got Lamar Rucker and Nicole Murphy. You know, do the promo real quick. That was awesome. I used to have some others too, but I'm checking to get those. So Karen was asking if she missed the conversation before about should men cry. And Karen, I mean, if you're on, drop me a message. Just let me know that you're on, because I'm curious. I want to know what you're thinking as a woman. What are you thinking? Is it okay for men to cry? Do you think less of a man if he cries, or do you think less of a man if he doesn't? I don't know. So send me a message. Drop me a line on. You could either drop it on WhatsApp 954-801-0429, or right here in the chat, and let me know what you're thinking. Is it okay for men to cry or is it not? You know, would you teach your son to cry, or would it be okay for him not to cry? I mean, it's like, I don't know. You know, inquiring minds want to know. I'm curious. I want to know what people are thinking. So you guys can either drop me a message right here on the chat, or you can hit me up on WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, it'll be 954-801-0429. I need to get a little WhatsApp graphic for here, so I can every so often I can pop that in there and let people know, you know. But I think I'm gonna work on that next, the WhatsApp graphic. So definitely let me know what you guys are thinking. I see people are still are on, they're listening, they're watching. But I'm not seeing the comments, guys. Come on. You gotta let me know. If I know sometimes Facebook acts up and people are commenting, but the comments aren't getting through. So if that's the case, hit me on WhatsApp 954-801-0429. 954-801-0429. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you guys are, you know, if you're okay with men crying or not. Okay, so Javon Murray says men should never cry. We're lions. Okay, so that's one perspective right there. So Javon, let me ask you: what if a man cries? Does that make him weak, or what happens then? You know, and I'm curious if you. I don't know if you have sons or not, but if you had sons, would you teach them that as well? That we should never cry. I'm curious. I want to know what the whole meaning is behind it, and why you feel like we shouldn't cry. Now, just to go back through some of the comments from before. Let's see. Miriam said, yes, men should cry. It releases emotional distress. Paula was saying, yes, men should be able to cry. They're human. Some of you guys are the biggest babies anyway. So, even Gene was saying, hell yeah, nothing wrong with good cry. A lot of guys just have to get over the stigma that boys don't cry. It's a good release. So we had people that said yes, and now we have Javon that says men should never cry. So I'm curious. I want to know what you guys are thinking. So as you see, we have both sides of the spectrum here. Let me know what you guys are thinking. In the meantime, let me put the banner back up here. There we go. That's the second question. The second question was, would you take a COVID-19 test a vaccine, sorry. Would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available? So we have two questions that we have on tonight. You guys can comment on either one of them that you want, both of them if you want, but just make sure you make a comment. All right. So the first question is, should men cry? Should men be able to cry? That's the first one. And then the second one is, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available tomorrow? Those are the two questions that we had. We had Dr. Adrian Daisley on from Barbados just a few minutes ago. We were talking to him about both comments, about both questions. We had a really good conversation. You guys, if you're just now joining, definitely you want to check it on the replay. It was a really good conversation. Dr. Daisley is also on the radio station 246 BajamVibesRadio.com on Monday nights, 3 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. So you guys could check him out there too. I'll be on the show. I'll be on the station, a couple nights a week. Yeah, and people were asking me before about do I have a night show as well? And yeah, I think we're gonna end up doing more night shows than day shows because first off, I think people prefer, the numbers are showing that people prefer the night shows than the day shows. So I think that's gonna be one of our big things. All right. But guys, yeah, man, it's like my feeling behind this is there's nothing wrong with a good cry. Honestly, there isn't. I'm not saying cry all the time. I'm not saying walk down the street crying. I'm not saying just, no, you don't just bust out and cry for no reason. You don't just sit there and just go, oh my God, I'm feeling in my feelings right now. No, I'm not saying do that. That's not what we're talking about. But if there's something that's bothering you, if something that's hurting you, you need to get that release out, because like I was saying earlier, and again, I'm gonna use I'm gonna preface it by saying this: I am not a doctor, I am not a psychologist, I am not a psychiatrist. I might need one at a time, but no, I'm not either one of those, and I don't play one on TV. But I'm just saying, I think that if we don't cry, if we don't get our emotions in check and get them out, then they're going to get bottled up inside, and that's what's going to create that toxic relationship, that abusive relationship, whether it's verbal, physical, whatever, with our spouses, our children, and I think that that's one of the things. We get to the point that we do say, we do say things and do things that that we don't mean, because we have so much bottled up that it becomes like a volcano and it just erupts. And like a volcano, when lava spews all over the place and the ashes and everything go all over the place, you can't control where it goes. It's the same thing, that emotion inside of you, when you start to let it out and it just blows all over the place. Now you don't know, you can't control where it goes. And then at that point, it's like, oh God, trying to bring it back, you can't. Just the same way you can't put that lava back in the volcano. You cannot bring it back. You can't take it back. So the thing is, sometimes you might just want to go out there and find another way to release it. Whether you want to, do some running, some kickboxing, play basketball, football, whatever you want to do. Just even read a good book, watch a good movie. My thing is, I love a good cigar and a bottle and a glass of brandy. That's it. It's like, or especially the Jack Daniel's honey whiskey. Man, that's the best thing right there. The honey whiskey, Jack Daniels. No, I'm not trying to give them a free promo or anything like that, but that's what I do with a good cigar every once in a while, and just relax, just kick back and relax. I could be under a tree, I could be on the balcony, I could be over at the beach. Just relax. Just take a deep breath and relax. Nobody around, just relax. That's all. Antoinette, what's going on? How's it going? I see you got it locked on from Barbados. What's up? So yeah, I mean, and those of you that don't live near the beach, find another outlet, find something. I mean, some of you live near the mountains. Go up in the mountains. I love doing that too. A good hike in the mountains. Oh my God. Nice, man. It's nice. Just make sure you look out for the wildlife up there, because I mean, some people look at them and, oh, they're so cute. Yeah, but then they're not trained though. They're not trained. They'll bite your hand off if you reach out to try to get one. So no, don't try to feed the wildlife. Don't try to pet them. They're not your friends. All right. If you don't believe me, go on YouTube and check it out. You'll see how many people went the wrong way with that foolishness. But still, find a way to just relax. Some people, for relaxing, may just be going to a jazz club. Other people may be just going to a comedy club. Nowadays, you can't really do any of those, but you can still go online and do those things if you want. Why am I playing? Why do I have the earbud in my ear? I'm not even. No one's talking to me, so I'm like. But yeah, definitely. I really feel like there's nothing wrong with crying. I just feel like everything has its time and place. And who was it that said it earlier? Nisha was saying about journaling. Journaling is a great way to track your progress, and it's also a good way to to regulate your emotions. That's how she put it. She said if you're able to regulate your emotions, then every little thing won't make you cry. You'll be able to find those healthy outlets to release those emotions. Journaling, exercising. So while it's perfectly okay to cry, being able to regulate emotions is also really healthy. That's a good one right there. And then, as a matter of fact, too, sometimes what you can do, if you want to relax and you just want to listen to some good music or whatever, just go to 246BajunVibesRadio.com and you get all kind of music. I mean, from reggae, soca, hip hop, you name it, everybody's playing all different kind of music. And you get involved in conversations like we're doing right now. Sometimes that's relaxing. To me, this is relaxing. This to me is like therapy. Doing my show is like a therapy to me. I just like talking to people. My grandmother used to always say, "You don't have a off switch," and I'm like, "No." Back then you can't talk back to old people because you get a backhand real quick. Oh gosh, but and then I run out of I gotta get some water or something too. So let me get a sip real quick. There we go. So those of you that are listening to me on the radio on 246 Bajun Vibes Radio, I know you guys are normally used to listening to some good music and stuff like that. And don't worry, you will be getting your good music coming up soon. Who's next after me anyway? I'm gonna go on. I'm looking online now to see who's gonna be coming up next after me. But as far as crying, yeah, nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. I don't care what anybody says. No, there's nothing wrong with it. So you guys got to just, and let your spouse, let them see you as the vulnerable person. Let them see you as a person. You don't always have to be Superman. We always think that we're going to be that we're supposed to be Superman, but no, we don't always have to be Superman. We don't always have to be the one that's carrying the world on our shoulders. So it's like we keep saying these things. We keep saying, oh, we can do this, we can do that, we can do everything. No, you can't do everything. You can't. You cannot do everything. It's impossible. So as much as you feel like you want to do everything, no, you can't. All right. I think that one of the things that we have to start looking at is when we have too much on our plate. It's just like if you had food, if you went to a buffet, you see everything that you want, but then you pile everything on your plate. and things start to fall off. And then you get disappointed because the things are falling off. It's the same thing in life. When we start to pile too much on our plates, something's going to fall off. We're not going to be able to control everything that we're piling on our plate. And then we get disappointed and we get discouraged and all these different things happen. But then what happens? We build it up on the inside. We don't cry. We don't let it out. We don't release. So sometimes, yes, it's okay to cry. You know, I think I need to write a book about that. It's okay to cry. No, I'm just joking. I think I'd probably be the only one that reads the book. I don't know. But that's tonight's topic, though. That's one of tonight's questions. The first question tonight was, is it okay for a man to cry? That was the first. And then the second topic was, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available today? Those are the two topics. So that's what I'm asking you. The two questions are, is it okay for a man to cry? And then the second one is, would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available today? I'm curious about those two questions. I see people are on. I see people are watching. So I'm asking you guys. I mean, if you have an opinion on these questions, go ahead and definitely post them in here. Or if not, you can hit me on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429. Again, you can hit me up on WhatsApp 954-801-0429. Let me know what what you guys are thinking. Is this is it okay for a man to cry? And would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one became available tomorrow? Those are the two questions, people. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Let me see who else is on. I see a bunch of people jumping on. Let me see. Looks like everybody's watching now from Facebook, which is good. That's good. You know. So Antoinette, talk to me. Is it okay for a man to cry? Yes or no? Let me hear what you're saying. Let me hear what what your thought is on that. And also the second one is, and I think we covered this one before. I think we spoke about this one before, about 2 months ago with the on Lunchtime Talk with Steve. But if there were a COVID vaccine tomorrow, would you take it, or would you let your children take it? Those are the questions. So, Antoinette, you in particular, I'm asking. I want to find out. I'm gonna put you on the spot. Javon, hey, what's going on? You answered one of the questions. Would should men cry? So I'm asking if you want to answer the next one, and you don't have to. I'm just asking because I'm trying to get more people to to come to make a post. But yeah, I mean, for me, yes, men should cry. Men should be able to cry. I shouldn't say you should. I'm not gonna say you gotta walk around all day crying. No. But you should be able to. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, no, I'm not doing a COVID-19 vaccine. Those are my two things. So when people say, oh, but there's one available, I'm happy for you. Good luck with that. If you need a ride to go get your shot, let me know. As for me, no, I'm not getting one. I'll give you a ride there, but I'm not going to take one. I'm just saying, that's just me. That's my thoughts behind it. Let me get some water. Hold on. Yep, I spilled a little bit of the water, but that's okay. It'll dry up. It's just water. But yeah, man. I'm curious. I'm like, I'm really curious about that. Ooh, wow. Look at the time. It's already 9:25. Man, it's been one of those days. You know how you have those days sometimes when you got so much to do, and then you feel like, oh my God, I did. You did a lot, but then you feel like, oh my God, I didn't accomplish half of what I had to do. But you never look at the ones that you did accomplish, And like I was saying, and was that yesterday's show or day before yesterday's show? I think it might have been yesterday's show, because I mean all the days start to run together. But what we need to do is like every day we should go ahead and write down 3 goals that we have for that day. 3. And make sure you accomplish those 3 goals by the end of the day. And you have to make them something realistic. A goal, not a wish. Don't put down something like, oh, I want to win the lotto. That's a wish. That's not a goal. It is. Oh, I want to meet the perfect woman or the perfect man or what. That's a wish. That's not a goal. These are all wishes, not goals. Goals should be things that you want to accomplish by the end of the day, not the wish that you want to come true. This is not one of those movies that the people blow out birthday candles and all of a sudden the world changes. And no, that's not this. This is real life. So you come up with 3 goals every morning when you, first off, let's change let me take that banner off because we're going to go a different route now. We're going to talk big people talk here now. Big people talk. First off, when you get up in the morning, the first thing you need to do before your feet hit the ground, before you get up and you start going wherever you're going and you start looking at your cell phone and all these different things, the first thing you do is you give thanks to God, all right, for waking you up that morning. Every single morning, that's the first thing you need to do. Give thanks and praise to God for waking you up, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. But you don't understand, my phone was ringing. I don't care. I don't care. You'll call them back. It'll go to voicemail. They'll send you a text, whatever. But the first thing you do when you get up every single morning, when you open your eyes, first thing you do is give thanks and praise to the Lord above for waking you up. First thing. Then after you finish, when you finish giving praise, and you got to make sure you give time for you to listen to him. Don't just talk to him and don't expect that he's going to talk back. He'll talk back. You'll get that message in your head and your mind. Don't worry, you're not going crazy. God, the same way you're talking to God, God's going to talk to you. Boom. First, number 1, always, every day. All right. Praise and worship is not just a Sunday thing. All right. Because waking you up is not just a Sunday thing. He wake you up every day. So you praise him every day. Boom. Excuse me. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is, you make your 3 goals. You make those 3 goals. You set the 3 things you want to do today and make sure, again, there are things that are realistic. Antoinette said we call it daily devotion. Yes, your daily devotion. And like I said, there's got to be a conversation with them. You have to talk to God like you talk to your parents, like you talk to, your friends, your whoever. So when you sit there, you talk. But the best part is you got to be honest with him because he already knows what you're thinking. He already knows what's going on in your life. So you can't lie to him. You can't lie and say, Lord, if you let this happen, I'm going to do this. No, because he already knows that you're conning him. Don't con him. It's not a con game. All right. These are the things that we have to do in life in order to make it. All right. That's number 1. But your 3 goals, that's the other thing that you have to do. Come up with 3 good goals. Write them down. Because when you write things down and you see it, it gives it a whole different meaning in here. Write them down. Write down the 3 things that are your goals for the day. All right. Look back at it. If you're working from home, stick it on the wall. If you're working from work or if you're at the office, stick it on your cubicle or on your computer or whatever. But you want it to be somewhere that you could see it all day, every day, all throughout the day. You want to be able to see it because the more you see it, the more it's going to remind you that you have to do these things. You have to finish this before the end of the day. You have to complete this goal. You want to make sure that these are things that you complete. All right. And Antoinette says we have to thank him as well. Yes, we do. You definitely have to thank him. We're going to get to that part. That's I'm getting to that part too. So you want to make sure your 3 goals that you write down. The first thing, we're gonna go recapping again. So first thing is to thank the Lord for waking you up in the morning. That's the first thing, and to have that conversation with Him. The second is to make sure you write down those 3 goals that you want to accomplish for the whole day. All right. Now you're gonna make sure that you accomplish these. If you don't finish them, at least you start them, and then you could put them on your goal list for tomorrow, so that you can finish them. You can finish them tomorrow. But this is not going to be an ongoing goal. This is going to be something that your goal should be something that you should be able to finish today. All right. Now we have long-term goals. Of course, we have long-term goals. So yeah, your long-term goals are a different story. That's what you're going to put on your vision board. You put that on your vision board so that now you know that this is my long-term goal, the goal for this year, the goal for this month, the goal for whatever. So you put it on your vision board and you put a date on there that you want to finish it by. So if you say you want to finish this by Thanksgiving, put the date on there. You want to finish it by Christmas, put it on there. Make sure the date is on there. All right, because once there's a date and a deadline on there, you're going to try to meet that deadline. If there's no deadline on there, you're not going to try to meet it, and then that goal becomes a wish, and then it just like all the other wishes, it's gone. So make sure you put it on there. That's the other thing. Now the other one that you want to do is when you at the end of the night before you go to bed, you want to make sure, and all throughout the day, you have conversations with God. You praise Him all throughout the day. You thank Him. You do all these different things all throughout the day. All right. But before you go to bed, you want to thank Him for everything that you have. Thank Him for what you did today. Thank Him for what you got accomplished. Here's another one. Thank Him for the things you don't have, but you're going to get. All right. You have to let Him know that you trust Him to give you those things later on, even though you don't have it yet, even though you don't see it in sight. You thank Him for the car that you're going to get, but you don't have a driver's license yet. That's all right. Thank Him for the car that you're going to get, because you know what He's going to do? He's going to give you that driver's license. Then He's going to give you the money to get that car. And then He's going to give you the ability to get that car. Thank Him for it. You have to thank Him as though it already happened. I'm telling you, man, we could sit here, we could preach all day long. You know how this go. But these are things that you have to do. You have to thank Him all day, every day. All day, every day. You know what I mean? You might think it sounds weird, but think about it. You pick up the phone, you call, and you thank your spouse. You thank them for breakfast if they did something for you for breakfast. You thank them for all these different things, and you talk to them all throughout the day. You call them throughout the day, and you talk to them. You do that little "Hey, what's up?" and you do all that little talking. And well, talk to God the same way. No, I'm not saying that you're going to be the guy on the corner with the megaphone that's yelling and saying Jesus is coming, Jesus is coming. No, I'm not saying you got to be that guy. But your relationship with God is in here in the heart. It's between you and Him. It's not between you, Him, and other people in the cubicle next to you or whatever. You don't have to yell and scream and get a megaphone on the corner. That's between you and God. A lot of people, when you see doing things like that, yes, they want to spread the word, but a lot of people do it just for their own recognition. And I'm like, for their own thing. And I'm like, whatever you do between you and God is between you and God, but these are things that you have to do. I don't know why God just put it into me to say something now, because this wasn't even the topic. And you guys that have been watching for the past 2.5 hours, this was not the topic. We were talking about should men cry, and we were talking about would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one became available. Those are the things we were talking about. So, but you know how it is. If God tells you to say something or do something, you got to do it. You got to obey every time. So these are things that we got to look at. We have to start looking at the way at our relationship with God. And please, people, please. Did I say please enough times? Let me say it another time. Please don't worship the pastor or the person that's on the pulpit at your church. Worship God. That person is supposed to be the person to bring the word of God. That person is not God. So when you're having a relationship, we have that relationship with God. All right. I hate when I'm talking to people and the first thing that they say is, but my pastor says, okay, but what does God say? But my pastor said, okay, but what's God? Well, the first lady of the church said, well, but what does God say? But the deacon said, and the elder said, you tell me what everybody else is telling you. But what did God tell you? What did God say? And that's the thing that gets me. People have so many things that it's like they could quote back and forth what the pastor told them and what everybody else told them. But you ask them, what did God tell you? And they're like, they can't tell you. But they could go back and tell you again what the pastor said. It's crazy. Antoinette said her 3 goals are long term. 1 is to exercise 3 times a week. 2 is to eat more healthy, and 3 is to be at peace, even in trying times. That's another one right there. That one right there, that being at peace. People, I'm telling you, it's not easy. We have to really start to relax. This is a time where we're getting stressed. We're getting emotionally stressed. We're getting so much things going on. We have to really start to relax. You have to start to do your breathing exercises. I do my walking too, but I should do it more often. But the problem is it's always raining here. It's like every morning I get up to go walking and it's raining. So, yeah, it's okay to walk around in the house, but it's boring walking around in the house. Walking around in the house, it's like, okay, so you might end up doing a quarter mile and think you did 10 miles. It's like, really? That was only a quarter mile? But then when you get to go outside, when it's not raining, you get to go outside, you walk 3-4 miles and you don't even notice it. Because the thing is, no matter how far you walk, you got to walk back. Unless you want to Uber or whatever. But the distance you walk, you have to walk back. So that makes it real easy to do it. Let's see, Antoinette says, it doesn't make me feel less of a person. It doesn't make a man feel less of a person if he cries. Tears is a language only God can understand. That's a good one. I like that. Tears is a language only God can understand. You know what? I like that. I think I'm gonna post that one on my Facebook page. I love that one. That's really good. I'm gonna post that one after we're done. I'm gonna copy and paste that on Facebook. As a matter of fact, you know what, Antoinette? Post that on your Facebook page and tag me in it. All right. I don't want to take away from what you said. Post it on your Facebook page after we're done and tag me in there. And I like that. I like it. I love it. It's great. It's great. All right. Man, I'm drinking a lot of water tonight. I drink a lot of water anyway. I think today, well, as you can see, I'm already on my 3rd bottle from the show, from being on the show. We've only been on the show 2.5 hours. But today, I think I probably already went through about maybe 6-7 bottles of water. I go through a lot of water. Yeah. So if any of you guys, Zephyr Hills or any one of them want to, Nestle, any of you guys want to sponsor, let me know. I'm always looking for sponsors. Let me know. I got your water right here. Whoop. Let me know. All right. So back to the conversation that we were having. Is it okay for a man to cry? And to the families out there, to the parents out there, do you teach your sons that it's okay to cry? Or do you tell them it's not? Or better yet, you may not even tell them yes or no, but do you allow them to cry? If your son is crying, do you tell him to stop it, or do you allow him to cry? Yes, that's a good question. So talk to me. I want to hear what you guys are saying. We still have another 20 minutes. Another 20 minutes. As a matter of fact, you know what? I keep itching to go and play some music, but then Facebook is gonna cut me off. And as a matter of fact, I got this message from Facebook the other day, kind of a threatening message too. It was a warning, I should say, but it was kind of still threatening, telling me that if I continued to play music, then they would suspend my account. Because I don't have the rights to the music. Okay. But I can't understand, because I see DJs and everyone else playing music all over Facebook, and they play it every day, and I'm like, do they have a special kind of DJ account? I mean, how does Facebook know that they're, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Maybe I need to look into that. I don't know. But, I like talking anyway. I like to talk a lot. More water. So let me know where you guys are watching from. I know that you guys are all over the place. I've already seen people from Barbados, from all over the UK, from Canada. I see people from New York. Different places. I see them. Tuning in from today. So I want to know, where are you guys watching from? If you're still on, I see from Washington, D.C., from here in Florida, different parts of Florida. As a matter of fact, from Melbourne, from Belgrade, from Lauderhill, from Miami, Hollywood, Davie, different parts of Florida. I'm seeing people, logging in from. So yeah, tell me where you guys are watching me from, and give me some topics. Anytime you guys want, just shoot me a couple of topics. Again, you can reach out to me on WhatsApp at 954-801-0429, 954-801-0429 on WhatsApp. And let me know what you guys want to talk about. Andrea Flash, what's going on? How you doing? Long time no see. How's everything going? So Andrea, let me ask you, is it bad if men cry? Should men be able to cry? That's that was the question that we were posing tonight. Should men be able to cry? That was the first one. And then the second one was, if there were a COVID-19 vaccine tomorrow, would you take it? If everyone came out tomorrow, would you take it? So curious, and that's to all of you out there. Should men be able to cry is the first question. And then the second question is, if there were a COVID-19 vaccine available tomorrow, would you take that vaccine? I'm curious. I want to know what you guys are thinking. We still have 15 minutes left. Actually, 17 minutes left. Yeah. Okay, so Andrea said male should cry, just an outlet to that each human needs. True, very true. Very true. So would you think less of a man if he cried? Like if you were, dating someone, not okay, because I know you and your husband been together for years and years and years. But when you first met him, let's say by the second date, if he cried, you guys went to a movie and he cried at the movie or whatever, would that turn you off, or would it make you feel like, why is this guy crying at the movie? Or would you feel like, oh my God, he's in touch with his emotions, and you really want to, embrace him. I mean, so if your husband had cried on the second date, excuse me, or even the first date for that matter, would you have gone out with him some more? Would you have stayed with him? Good question. She said no vaccine, not yet. It may be politically driven out of the market. For ratings, onto the market for ratings, and that's true. I feel like that's exactly what's happening. I feel like he's already said he wants one out by election day, because he's trying to win the election. He wants to tell people, look what I did. Yeah, but give it a month or two and let's see what happens. And no vaccine for me. I'm good. But excuse me. Let me see. I got a couple of messages coming in on WhatsApp as well too. So you guys can reach out to me on WhatsApp. You can go to you can just hit me up at 954-801-0429. 954-801-0429. If you're in Europe or anywhere like that, anywhere at all outside the US, you know you have to put +1 before it. So you put +1 954-801-0429. All right. And hit me up, let me know what you're thinking. The questions tonight are: should men be able to cry? And would you take a COVID-19 vaccine if one were available tomorrow? Let's see. Man, I'm seeing people logging in from all over the place. This is great. I'm loving this. I am loving this. And don't forget, we are also streaming live on 246BajinVibesRadio.com. All right, out of London. So yeah, we're doing a lot of things, a lot of big things coming up. I'm telling you, man, it's nice. Okay, she says initially males crying may make a female feel like he's too soft, but if it's a misconception. He may be warm and sensitive to females' needs more than the one who behaves tough. That's true. Let's see. Antoinette says there's no certainty about a vaccine. Our certainty is building our immune system as best as we can. So how would we go about building our immune system? What's some of the stuff that we can do to build up our immune system? Because a lot of us don't know about some of the remedies. I mean, we grow up on different things like ginger and garlic and, nutmeg and all these different things that when you cook with them and you do all these different things with them, they help to build your immune system. But what are some of the remedies that people, and again, to anyone that's watching, these are not medical remedies. So I'm not telling you guys that you should go out there and eat or drink a whole bunch of this stuff. All right. Whatever I say, take it with a grain of salt. I am not a doctor. I don't pretend to be one on the internet. This is a white shirt, but it's not a lab coat. All right. So don't think that I'm a doctor. I am not a doctor. I just want to say that up front. But so a lot of people like things like the apple cider vinegar with mother. I don't know what mother is. I'm still trying to figure out. It always says apple cider vinegar with mother. Like, is there apple cider vinegar with father? I'm like, why does it always say with mother? What is mother and what? I mean, it's like, I'm curious. It always says that apple cider vinegar with mother. Like, where's one with father or brother or sister or grandmother? I mean, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. So anyhow, don't forget, guys, send me some topics. Let me know what you guys are thinking. All right. You guys can, if you don't want to send them in here, send them to me on my regular phone. You can WhatsApp me or text me, either one. And I am going to put my phone number on here. Yes, I am. So you guys can always reach out. Why is it in blue? I didn't change the color. I don't know why. That's weird. So I'm going to create a new banner and put it on there again too. Because it has the link on there. I don't know why I created it as a link. That's interesting. But anyhow, guys, go ahead and shoot me a text or anything like that. Let me know what topics you guys want to talk about. Anytime you want to talk, we're going to be on again tomorrow night from 7 to 10. So let me know what you guys want to talk about tomorrow. Andrea says, build the immune system, vitamin C and zinc, and the usual ginger, garlic, etc. Regular intake of these things, not only when you get sick. That's true. That's what a lot of people do. A lot of people wait until they get sick in order to start to try to build their immune system. You can't wait till you get sick to do that. I mean, come on, be for real. That's like waiting till you get into a car accident to put on your seatbelt. No, you do it before you get in the accident. But actually, hopefully, you never get into the accident. But you know what I mean. You put you put on the seatbelt, just in case. So the same way you build your immune system, just in case. All right. Antoinette says, this is what I take: garlic and ginger, vitamin C, D, B, and I. And I increase my water intake. So garlic, ginger, vitamin C, D, B, and increase your water intake, and turmeric as well. All right, so we see that the vitamin C, the ginger, and the garlic seems to be on both lists. So that means that shows you something right there. You guys really need to start looking into these things. All right, and you know what's so crazy? It's like, okay, doctors would tell you, oh no, those are just old wives' tales. Don't do it. But then they'll give you a medication that has the same things in there as well. Think about that. They're going to tell you don't do it, but then they're going to give you a medication that you have to go and pay for that has these things in it. So why am I taking synthetic in medication when I could take the real stuff? You know what I mean? But the thing is, doctors get paid for writing prescriptions. They don't get paid for you eating vegetables and fruits and the real things, I got another message on WhatsApp that says people need to demucus their body. So how would you do that? How would you demucus your body as it was put? How would you do that? I'm curious. I mean, I know things like turmeric would help with inflammation and stuff like that, but and that's one of the other things too. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to get what you call her, Makiba. Makiba is a vegan that I know locally here, and she knows a lot of the different remedies and different things. So I'm trying to get her on the show so we could talk about some of those things, what they're good for, what's garlic good for, what's ginger good for, So let's see. I got another message on WhatsApp that says, stop using sugar, stop using fuzzy drinks, like sodas and things like that. Start using more greens and moringa. I still don't know quite what a moringa is, but I keep hearing everybody talking about it. I'm like, what is moringa? I don't know exactly what it is, but it seems to be good because everybody's talking about this moringa thing. Let's see. Andrea says, for inflammation, low carbs and sugar. Okay. Leaf of life, aloe. That's another one that I just got on WhatsApp. Yeah, so you guys are coming up with some good things. I mean, the aloe one, I know it tastes terrible, but it's good for you. I need to go get some more aloe too. As a matter of fact, my daughter actually has an aloe plant. When she started learning about health and everything in school, she actually started growing an aloe plant at home, and she uses that for everything from her skin, to drinking and eating. And I'm like, wow, moringa seed leaves. You know what I saw the other day too? Somebody else was talking about was chai. The drinking chai, and was it chai and lemon or chai and pineapple? I can't remember which one it was. Thyme demucus the system. So what do you do with the thyme? Do you take the thyme and boil it, or how do you use the thyme? I know you use it to cook, but to demucus the system, do you boil it in tea, or what do you do? Alone and juice detoxifies. Okay, so I guess the thyme and are you going to put the thyme and juice to detoxify the system, or how does this work? Because I'm curious. I want to find out how to use some of these things. Is it that I'm curious. I want to hear what you guys are saying about how to use it, like the thyme. How do you do that? Do you boil it? What else can you do with it? I think we need to get some of you guys on the show to talk to us about some of these things that we can do with just regular household stuff, you know. Andrea, you want to be on the show? Antoinette, you want to be on the show? Either one of you, just link up with me, let me know, and let's see what we can do, because I'm curious. I mean, if there are different things we can do out there to make these things work, you know? And like I said, if it's beneficial to the people, then yeah, we just got to let people know that we're not doctors, and these are not medical advices that we're not giving out medical advice. Just saying it. All right. So I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh, well, you know," no, I didn't tell you. Research anything, because everyone's body is different, and I don't want to hear anyone saying Steve told me. No, just like I said about the COVID vaccine, that I would not be trying it because it's not been tested. You need to make sure as well. You need to do your homework. All right. Andrea says no, she's shy. Antoinette says she's shy too. Everybody's shy. Antoinette's shy because I see that she don't even have a picture on there. But yeah, man. So we're coming up on the time now we're coming up on the time now. At the end of our hour, the end of our 3 hours actually. So I definitely want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys being on here. I appreciate you watching the show, commenting on the show, and even on WhatsApp. Like I said, if any of you guys want to send me any topics that we could discuss, just reach out to me on WhatsApp or text me 954-801-0429. As a matter of fact, I figured out a way to do that. Now I'm gonna just take out the dashes and put spaces so that it won't show it as a link. I hope that works. It still did it as a link. This pesky thing, I don't understand. But anyhow, 954-801-0429. You can link up with me on there's a number, even though it's still in blue. So you can link up with me on there we go. See? Easy. I just change it to white, and then the blue shows. Perfect. There we go. So link up with me on that number. Send me a message. Send me a WhatsApp. Either one. Let me know what you guys want to talk about, because we will be here again tomorrow. We will be talking again tomorrow. We have 3 hours, so I want to hear from you guys. Shoot me messages and let me know what you want to talk about, what you want to hear tomorrow, so that this way I can start researching it. All right. You guys have a good night. Antoinette was saying have a safe, peaceful, and restful night. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys for doing everything that you do. All right. Thank you. You guys have a good night. And as always, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Do a random act of kindness for a stranger. All right. Because tomorrow you may be that stranger that needs that random act of kindness. All right, guys. Talk to you later.